A few numbers just coming through here this morning. Canadian inflation, will lead off with that for June on the year-over-year number. Downside, 2.7%, expected 2.9%, which was the same as the prior reading there. Comes in a little bit lower. Core inflation rate for June, 1.9%. That's higher than the expected 1.6%. Core or CPI median year over year, 2.6%. So downside across the board there for Canadian inflation. We also got U.S. retail sales for June, dead flat, 0.0% versus a 0.1% uptick expected there. Ex autos, if you take out cars, 0.4% to the upside versus a negative 0.1% reading expected. Retail sales year over year, a little bit higher, 2.3% versus 2.1% on that side. Business inventories coming at 10 o'clock this morning. Some housing data as well at 10 o'clock. That's basically it. We do get one Fed speaker later on this afternoon as we get going into what should be a pretty interesting Tuesday here. The market back to the upside now. Initial reaction to that number was downside. We are now positive once again, 0.3 here for the NASDAQ, 0.22 for the S&P. Yeah, that's Qualcomm that's on the screen. Has nothing to do, obviously, with the overall market. Look at Canadian inflation ticking its way to the downside once again, Sharif.
And it's funny, you and I were just talking about going to the dollar store and we talk about inflation. Yeah, no, seriously though, food's still a little bit high on this side of the border. Shelter as well, a little bit high, especially in the major cities like Toronto and Vancouver. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But yeah, good to see that it's coming down. Hopefully we'll get maybe a reciprocal move here from the Bank of Canada.
That's going to be the next item to talk about here, whether we get two in a row from the Bank of Canada or not. Two cuts in a row for anyone keeping score at home. Again, 2.9% was the forecast. Comes out 2.7%, 1.6 on the core side of things. 1.9 is the actual reading. So the market reversing here again. Retail sales south of the border. Downside for the most part outside of the year-over-year number, 2.3 versus 2.1. So trying to take out that pre-market resistance right now. The market just continues to march higher here. A number of individual movers to touch on this morning as well. Tesla back to the upside, 1.5%. I mean, more bank earnings to deal with. Some negative from that group this morning. We'll touch on that. Schwab was downside. BAC looks like it's positive now. That was initially down 1.8% as well. Few individual earnings calls underway. I'm just hearing as well some comments coming through. Palantir with a downgrade today. That's not good. 2%, Sean. What's up?
Oh, it's actually great news. What are you talking about? Because it just gives you an opportunity to buy more stock.
He stole my. I was gonna do a line about how, oh my goodness, I can't care about Canadian inflation because Palantir got a downgrade from Mizuho.
Stupid Mizuho.
So everyone,
where are those Mizuho guys?
It's kind of a joke here. Because obviously, if you look at the watch list, the first thing that pops out there for top story is going to be Palantir, which is down 1% on the Mizuho downgrade. Meanwhile, Shopify's up 5% and going higher.
I already gave it. As soon as I came in, I said, Adara, you're starting this morning off incorrectly because now I have to read that Palantir is down. But I mean, obviously, you can't keep a good stock down for
1.5. So, it's not that much.
No. I'm just playing around. This is completely fine. I mean, we were talking about it. Actually, I tweeted something out yesterday here, which makes me feel, I don't know if it makes me feel better or worse. I tweeted out Kathy Wood's top holdings. So right into here, Palantir sneaking in there at 8 right now. So we got Tesla. This one is the one.
That's the one that I just don't understand.
It's like, I'm going to have to block my number. Tesla, Roku, Coin, right? I mean, that's good. Yeah, Roku's the strange one for me, but then I already own all of these stocks, not Roku. But Roblox is a big one. You guys know that I'm recently in that, obviously. Square there as well. CRISPR Therapeutics, Robinhood, and then there's Palantir, UiPath, and Intellit Therapeutics, right?
That one's got an interesting chart, by the way.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I was just thinking that ARK isn't, I don't know. I mean, tonight I'll have Brian Shannon on, who absolutely hates everything to do with ARK, and he's justified it before. But you do have a nice run up. As you see, IWM starting to go back up to the upside. If you didn't want to take Russell 2000, which of course has 1,982 names, you could see right here, this ARK has made a nice move upside as well. So some of the names that are involved in that. Like we just talked about, we had a big move up in UiPath recently, and then Palantir as well. So I just think that some of these names, as we get into rate cut cycles, are going to be better. And I mean, that's what's supposed to happen. So, you know, yeah, this is not a new company, Palantir. It's not a UiPath. They're not like dealing with brand new technology. They're just innovating stuff they already have and releasing it and getting into more hands and just becoming more relevant in the world that we're living in. So I really like Palantir moving forward. And this downgrade, although I've already told you I sold some around this price. 28 is where we were selling in the last couple of days. So we're right here, right now. I'm not like I'm buying it back. So we'll have to wait to see what happens here with Palantir. I mean, I really like the name. Down to 25, I'll put money back in.
I think I'm going to say Shopify is a higher probability that it'll be traded today than Palantir. It doesn't mean Palantir won't get traded. It always does volume. But on that Cathie Wood list, I saw Intella there, and you got to look at this chart. Now, obviously, almost everything that Cathie Wood owns, we're kind of going off on a riff here just randomly because of Cathie Wood, which is good. A lot of things she owns are going to have short floats. This one's a 14% short float. I was half surprised when Michael Noss was going through some of his list of catalysts for short float type names. This is one, if it was over 20%, I bet you it would be on his radar. Here's your little W pattern, at least that's what I think people call it, into a 4 times resistance at 27.20. You have the 200-period moving average. This is a stock, it's up like 5 days in a row. If it can break out this top, you could have like a mini squeeze. So it's interesting. Like I randomly had seen this chart, I think it was like yesterday, or not yesterday, it was probably over the weekend or something. I was like, oh, yeah, Intella, interesting looking chart, short float, all that kind of good stuff. Not any kind of catalyst here today, but one of the top 10 holdings of Cathie Wood. So I know she wants it to break out, that's for sure.
All right, a few things of interest here. On the other side of the scale, Sean, Mizuho with an upgrade here for Datadog today. So cybersecurity names getting a little bit of positivity. Here's DDog up huge, 132, 133 coming into play. Not a lot of volume behind that, but nice move for Datadog on the back of that note we saw yesterday. I was trying to find the name of that company that Google was kicking the tires on. I'll have to bring it up. Oh, Wiz, that was it.
Yep.
$23 billion deal, potential $23 billion deal for Google or Alphabet for Wiz, which is also on the cybersecurity side of things.
Yeah, Brendo, the biggest acquisition in Google's history, about $23 billion, as Brendo mentioned. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Like I've mentioned this many times in the past, I feel like these cybersecurity names, there's high beta on them. Like if you've ever seen Zscaler, PanW, or CrowdStrike, there's high beta, and that's number one. Number two, there is this growing movement within corporations to kind of distribute your cybersecurity spend amongst different names so that you're not prone to a hack or a leak or anything like that. So I like these names, but I'm always concerned about distributed spending. We'll have to see how this one does, but yeah, great look for Datadog and that other Wiz, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost daily. I mean, we've had this conversation many times. I mean, this whole Ticketmaster thing still floating around. Everyone in Canada getting those emails, or a lot of people. I read it was 500 million people total got those emails from Ticketmaster regarding their breach. It's almost on a weekly basis that, you know, we're hearing about some sort of breach coming, you know, to some sort of company. So yeah, DDog maybe worth an eye today, but that story yesterday on Wiz for Google. Coming up later in the week, we're going to have Ian Patterson back on, CEO of PureLock. Our friends over at PureLock going to talk a little bit about the sector and how hot it is right now for them. So that's coming up, I think Thursday or Friday this week. I'll double check.
Yeah, good look there. That Google deal, huge deal. And obviously, if you look at that, the competition for them when it comes to cloud data is clearly for Alphabet. You know, it's Amazon and Microsoft. So that's a shot at those guys, and it's what you're going to hear everybody say. But the cybersecurity names, not all, like your Datadog's up 3%, but I was looking over, like I'm pretty sure Zscaler got a downgrade. I'd have to double check that, but they're down 1.5 points. So it's not as if, oh, all of the cybersecurity names are going up in sympathy or anything, but this one on a downgrade, if it is popping to the downside, and the only reason I'll bring it up with regards to cybersecurity should be obvious for a trader, this is the 200-period moving average for Zscaler, and look at the last week and a half. it essentially has this, there's one wick underneath the 195 level. Every other bottom has bounced off 195 bucks on this stock, and that's the 200 period moving average on Zscaler. So it just attempted a breakout of 05. There's like that rejection. You know, what do? You pretty much just try to be patient and wait for that support to come back in at 195. We've seen a lot of these wedge patterns lately on all kinds of stocks, and eventually they break out. Like AMD broke out of the wedge, Tesla broke out of the wedge, and Intel had a wedge that it broke out of as well. But while it's in some kind of a range like this, hey, you just wait for it to get to the bottom, take your shot at that support level, be patient about it, and you can get yourself a nice swing. And if it eventually breaks out of the wedge with a close, it needs to close above. It's not enough to wick it. This is why when you're in a wedge pattern, you need the stock to actually close above that 205. Then you can have an explosive breakout. So I have my eyeballs on Zscaler more than I would Datadog, because that could be setting up for some kind of a swing here.
Yeah, I mean, just again about Google, the weakest name is going to be Amazon, but Google also has failed off that 190 pretty good as well. So there's been some pretty defined tops up here. I mean, I guess it's 191, 192, but at the same time, big pushback into 185. I mean, I think that if you want to load up, if you want to get a little bit more ahead of earnings, then I do think like a 175 area, if we can get down into that, would be somewhere to start looking at it. And I think we could get into 180 as soon as today if the market fails, right? I mean, I think this could come back in. You're up right now, but any sign of weakness, we've already seen a top. So I just think that traders right now have been enjoying this huge run up, and it's my largest holding. So I'm talking the book here a little bit, but we've bounced nicely, and it's really started to go. So I really like Google buying on dips, but I am weary that we could get into this 180 area. So that's a level for me that we'll look at 180-ish. For Google to add maybe some to the long-term account. We've been raising some capital, so that would be a name there, but I don't want to just pile in, so I only own Google. But I like that. I like that stock, and I like what it's going to do. We'll hear from Microsoft how the cloud is, AWS, and Google. So the biggest names around will be reporting the next couple of weeks, and we'll be able to tell by then. It doesn't look like we're going to get a rate cut in July, but then after that, September looks almost 100% at this point, and we'll see if these stocks show up with earnings.
Put up or shut up. Yep. Morgan.
Just reading Canada, guys, 90% now for July. That will go 2 in a row. So 90% chance coming up next week. It's actually the 24th. So next Wednesday, we could get 2 in a row. So interesting on that. I was mentioning there's some comments coming through for bank earnings. I just double checked. Morgan Stanley's actual earnings call is 9:30. This morning, but the CFO making some comments right now, so just be aware. Anyone looking at this, we are down to the tune of a decent amount here, $4 or $5 anyways. At the lows, 102.50 trying to hold here. It looks like the forecast a bit of a problem.
Yeah, and they missed, Brendo, on wealth management. They bit of a miss there. Decrease of 2%, 6.79 billion is what they did for that net interest income. And this is a growing theme here with the banks. We heard Wells Fargo talk about the drop in NII last week. Bank of America reported lower NII this year as well, but their forecast for net interest income came in a little bit higher, so they didn't drop as much. So with respect to Morgan, net interest income plummeted 17% year over year to 1.79 billion. That's the difference that they make between the amount that they're paying out in, these savings account and shorter dated bonds versus what they're getting back from the loans that they're putting it out. So that spread not working in their favor right now, Brenda.
Yeah, BAC, the other one with earnings out today. To the other side of things, 42.50 on a pullback right now. Bank of America higher so far.
So you might have heard me as a trailed off say Morgan because Morgan's down. I'm looking at you, put up or shut up.
Yeah, Morgan.
The good thing about Morgan Stanley, however, would be just technically look at all of these previous highs. So here's a previous high going all the way back to 2023, and then when it breaks it out, immediate support, eventually it gives it up. But that same level, you track back, it's a breakout at that price. It's then a support level at that price. So you look at this high, double top, consolidation break, the dip from 100 goes right into that same 94 level. And now you were breaking out. Thank you, Goldman Sachs, for breaking out, helping to break out Morgan Stanley and some of the bank earnings early. But you're pulling back into this previous top. So you have some wicks above here, but for the most part, this is like 101.5. So it's dipped to the spot, the initial spot that you would want to hold. If it can bounce from here, I hate the fact that the call is at 9:30 because that means I just don't want to trade it at the open. But if it holds that level after the opening range and the call is done, I think you look for a rebound play. If it does not hold, it's pretty clear the 50-period moving average on the daily would be your spot, down around 98. The only way I trade this is after earnings as a potential bounce play if one of those two levels is consolidating. Otherwise, completely ignore this bank. And what was interesting was we were talking about this in terms of at the end of the day, when Goldman Sachs was holding the highs. Remember when Goldman was holding those highs and then the imbalances came out? Goldman just chilled at the top and Morgan Stanley dumped into VWAP? Well, somebody knew something. And Morgan with a disappointment. So, it's almost as if they were rallying together. Morgan and Goldman were moving exactly the same way right at the imbalances coming out there. You saw a big seller come into Morgan Stanley and then now they're down 2.5 points. So I'll wait till 10 o'clock or whenever the call is done, but I'm not trading it before then. I'm not even putting orders.
A name that I like here is, and we just put out our sticky note here, I was just looking at is Sofi. Sofi breaking today through $7 as we're going to talk about some banks coming through here right now. Their report's not until I think July. I just had it up and I've already forgotten about it. Here's the daily chart here for Sofi. It's over here, July 30th. So a little ways away for Sofi. But I really just think this breakout through $7 is trying to happen. You're running into the 200-period moving average. We held above it, pretty nicely, got some garbage out of here, and it's very, very similar, right? Down here to $6, it wants to be supported down there. So you're only at 750. If SoFi can do something, that's nice. President Biden is going to talk about some of that student relief and loan relief and all that stuff. He's sort of campaigning on that. I was watching one of the announcements he was making or press conferences, and he was touting that. So nice move to the upside. We saw Anthony Noto the other day buying some more shares. So, I like this play going to the upside for SoFi. And I know there's a lot of you guys in this. So, look at how good it looks here in the 3-minute chart. I was just about to actually tweet this out as well. There's the line right here. We've broken through it. We came back. We tested in the pre-market. We tested right off open there. And now it wants to be higher. So if we do get a dip down, Neil just talked about some of the weakness on some of the names. If we can get a SoFi move, it might be 720. This marker is 730. Right there is 725. Sometimes what's bad is hot again, right? 19, 20% short float. There's not too many banks that have numbers like that. So let's wait to see, I guess, maybe some of the regionals. But we'll wait to see what happens now with SoFi Technologies. I like the stock.
A couple other things moving around here. IBM, interesting. Big gap to the upside here. Just took out the highs actually popping up in front of me. I lost it here. Who was it? Somebody added it to their tactical outperform list. Yeah, it was Evercore. Thank you. Evercore ISI adding the company to their tactical outperform list for IBM. Not one that we talk about very often, but I saw a few people mentioning this as well. Lucid downside on that funding note yesterday. Production numbers were higher, but only just. And I think a lot of people were expecting much, much better for Lucid, so this thing got crushed.
Yeah, last week, Brendo, it was an aggressive move up on the backing of the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia. Again, I've mentioned this on the Midday show with Adair and I. It kind of is a blessing and a curse to have that kind of money. It really doesn't force you to become efficient and figure out your process. If you have multiple opportunities to get it right, on the other side of the coin, obviously, we've seen a lot of the electric vehicle companies really struggle with cash on hand. So a bit of a blessing and a curse. We'll have to see how they trade today, Brendo.
Yeah, it's almost erasing that move from last week, as you mentioned, after yesterday. We're almost back to that 350, I guess it was, where we ended the day going back to Wednesday or Thursday of last week for Lucid. There's UNH. I was just hearing those comments coming through as well. Another earnings name. Not a lot of volume here, but that's not it. UNH, United Health. With their earnings this morning, guys, trying to get back to highs.
This company's a monster.
I own UNH, man. Don't pull up a chart of natural gas and say UNH. You'll make my heart just oh my goodness. Shoot, because obviously anyone see a chart of natural gas. We skipped over, I know you mentioned Lucid there, but the only thing I want to say about Lucid is I completely agree with Sharif's sentiment. If you have an endless line of cash, that's a good thing for the EV names if you have that support, but in terms of forcing you to be efficient, having your back up against the wall can be a bit of a problem. That's why you get things like Brewster's Millions, which is a fantastic movie that was made twice. You've got to learn to respect money. And if you've never seen that movie, make sure you check it out. Don't just give everything. You've got to be able to earn things. That said, the chart on Lucid tells you everything you need to know about the exuberance in this stock. I saw in the chat just maybe a couple of minutes ago that breakouts can also create bag holders. And I think I don't want to say this is over for Lucid, because if you look at where it broke out from recently on the daily chart, it's still above this 360 level. But if it loses 360, then it's created bag holders on this break at 4.
Yes.
Unfortunately. So it's a critical day. Did you know we're just talking about Lucid? How?
Well, Kawartha Dairy, I like that ice cream is.
Yeah.
That
I'd go for ice cream right now.
Very, 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 very solid.
Ice cream all day, every day.
All day.
And the breakfast, you can have ice cream.
Yeah, you can put them on waffles.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. They have a coffee flavored ice cream. I'll take one.
Oh, I'll have a coffee flavored anything.
At this point.
Yeah.
Sure, is it raining outside yet? We got a thunderstorm warning here. Spitting, okay. Spitting is okay.
Boo.
NVIDIA? Oh, are you recently in that name, there,
Flat.
Randy, or what? Pondering. I think it's a good opportunity to buy. Whoops, our daily chart is no good here, but hold on, zoom in. I think it's a decent opportunity to buy some NVIDIA here as you're on a little bit of support. I think we can get into the 122 area if the market does fall back down a little bit. Remember, Randy, if you're looking at this stock a month ago, this was $1,220 when we could have bought this for $100 just over 2 years ago. But there it is, 122. I like that for a little level of support. And on today's sticky note, Randy, as a little tease, of course, it's free, up right now on Twitter. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. AMD, I feel like this name could be a little top heavy right now, turning itself around off some top wicks in and around 185. So Sticky Note Nation today, Randy, is all over AMD to the short side. Let's see if we can make that come true. Yeah, it's free. I'll show it to you afterwards. It's on there at Trader TV Sean, both on Twitter and on Instagram. But, you know, it's just some notes I'm looking at. Tesla. Tesla's on there, Randy. It's the number one idea today as well. All right. So, yeah, Randy came through. I think he's going to get us coffee. I'm not sure what the end result there was.
We want coffee,
about
please.
Coffee-flavored ice cream.
No, well,
I have about a third left of this.
I would love to just make it a float. That would be sweet.
Before we go over to the main desk, I need to Adair. I need to ask Brendan a question, because Brendan, now that we have that Earth's Own almond milk, what's your opinion on that versus the other one?
Not a fan.
Not a fan. I noticed there was a different taste. That's what I wanted to ask.
Seems to be the consensus.
A little less sweet, I feel like. I don't know, but all right, Earth's Own. We only have about 40 cartons to go through before.
Yeah, you better like it anyway. That's all I'm saying, because you're not getting anything else for like a year.
I was going to say it's just different. It's just more toned down, in my opinion.
No, but there's a literal bunker so there's a kitchen in our back office, and then adjacent to the kitchen is like this little bunker that just only a couple of people have the keys to. I have seen inside of it. Like, imagine if you've ever seen the movie Lost, like just when they go into that vault and they open it up and Hugo sees all that food and all that, that's basically what the bunker is in this office. And now there's 40 whatever cartons of that almond milk that you guys are going to be drinking for the next 5 years.
Yeah. So there's a lot there, and we're going to have some fun with that.
Pass.
That's why I wanted to, just trying to add some content here to the show.
It's like, don't buy a couple and see how people like it. Let's just buy all of them.
You get the better deals. Someone's hitting the heart a lot on the chat. We appreciate that. So you get the better deals when you buy in bulk.
Of course, yeah.
And support that Costco.
Save that money, right?
Let's get going on that one. All right, you tell me, Fabian, are we ready to go to Adara? No. Great. Are we ready to stay here, or where do we want to go? Oh, by the way, scan that right here. Link in the description as well to get that new watch list.
Exactly.
As well. Trader TV watch list coming through. All right, so
by the time I get this out, I'm not even going to be able to scan.
I don't know if there we go. Okay. Adara over at the screen.
Lots of names here to talk about on both the upgrade and the downgrade side of note, including Amazon getting this upgrade from Wolf Research initiating here with an outperform rating. They also initiated an outperform rating with Shopify, which also got an upgrade here to a buy rating from BAC Securities. So not one, but two upgrades for SHOP, definitely on watch. We also had Datadog getting this upgrade from Mizuho and Wolf Research upgrading Meta as well here. The downgrade side, kicking it off with Reddit and this downgrade from Loop Capital. You can read more about this one in our watch list, but basically maintaining the $75 price target and having some issues with its valuation. Starbucks getting downgraded by Evercore ISI. Susquehanna here downgrading Zscaler. And last but not least, Palantir downgraded by Mizuho with the price target increase to $22, also citing some concerns about valuation. So pretty interesting list across the board here, guys.
I feel like we talked about somebody else.
I really hate that list.
What's wrong with that?
Oh, you got
list?
Starbucks on one side. I might wind up losing this bet, man. I don't know if it's time yet.
What was the
Let me
bet?
Find out. It's not a bet. It's
Oh no, it was it was Home Depot versus.
was it Home Depot? I thought he picked the XLE, the banks there. I'm talking about Raider Trader. Okay, so SB.
Oh no, he liked Home Depot, but he did also like Home Depot. You're right. The pick was actually XLE, but Home Depot was one of the other ones you mentioned.
Yeah, I really like Home Depot as well.
I like that
Starbucks
play.
right now. July. Ooh, another July 30th name coming through right here. So we had July 30th with Sofi and with Starbucks. They're going to be in the penalty box until they get this thing right. I mean, they just like if this was a minute chart, you know how I trade with the 50-period moving average. I mean, this has been quite the decline here in Starbucks. And why would you ever get Starbucks when you can have a star like Randy deliver the coffee right here as well? Thank you, Randy. But there it is right there on that base of $72. It had a beautiful run last time, but then, you know, it's been faded right back out there. So we'll have to wait to see what happens here with Starbucks. Again, weak data coming out of China is not going to help this name. And I see that downgrade today down over 0.3. I guess not that much, but in a market that's up, Starbucks today, I think, settles down and, you know, tests, unfortunately, that 72 bottom again. So this is worth, in my opinion, worth picking some up. But the other major U.S. brand that's been getting hit here again on China weakness, Randy, is Nike. This is near, I think it's near 5-year lows right now, down to $72, missing badly on their last earnings call and really haven't been able to get off the mat, so to speak. So Nike right now with another downside move, but
you know what's getting off the mat?
He's getting spicy.
Apparently GameStop. No, GameStop's getting off the old schneid. You know what? It's not often that you can talk about a high short float, squeeze, momentum, meme, whatever name you want to call it, and we'll talk about something technical like the 50-period moving average holding. But if you look at GameStop, we're talking about this last week where you just have this hold down at 22. It's clear and obvious support, and then it's just slowly grinding higher off that support, just little by little, and starting to accelerate. So it's through this local top here at 20. Well, it did that yesterday. This 26.5 zone managed to dip and rip a couple of times in there. Just remember, it has not had a clean up day where there hasn't been some kind of significant pullback. There's no up day that I can remember in the last 2 or 3 weeks with GameStop that doesn't have either a full retrace or a half retrace. Yesterday, a half retrace. And at the open, it even did like a break and then dip. So chasing it tops in the pre-market has not been the way to go. Like if it's going to rally, either there's dip at the open that you can grab or it's going to make its high early, and then you've got to be very, very patient. Obviously, 27.20 can come into play here. I don't think there's actually any news here on GameStop. At least I haven't seen it. But the volume, okay, and the trend holding nicely. I wonder if there aren't any other of these names that are looking like that on the chart that you can try to get into a little bit early. It might be worth scanning like Chewy or another one that might be doing the same kind of pattern, because it's every single day just accelerating a little by little.
It's exactly what I think when I look at GameStop. There was a note just comparing Tesla to meme stock as of late, but 28 comes and goes there. There's really nothing as far as a headline is concerned for GME, but we'll keep an eye out for anything that comes across. That's really it. There's a few other interesting things coming up here. Remember, earnings calls basically from 9 o'clock right through to 10 o'clock this morning in the banking group alone. So we'll keep an eye out for comments. But let's have a look at the overall market here.
Guys, we're accumulating into that 5,700 that we talked about yesterday as that resistance level. 5683 is where we closed out yesterday. As you see over here, we did breach 5,700, but as quickly as we breached it, as quickly as we retraced and dropped below it, the overnight high, again, below 5,700, 5698. Let's see if we can accumulate to break that 5,700 as support. We're going to use that 75-point level, essentially the overnight low.
There's a brand new way to get your hands on the absolutely free morning watch list that we send out every day. Go to the description below this video right now. The link is in the description. Enter your email address, and then, as I mentioned, just magically appears every single day in your inbox. 1.32. Exactly. 1.32% right now for Tesla back to the upside after a pretty harsh dump here into the close yesterday. We did rally back somewhat after the close, but trying to hold 255 right now.
Yeah, no real specific Tesla news, Brendo, but there was Elon Musk basically pledging approximately $45 million per month to a super PAC aligned with Donald Trump. It goes by the name of America PAC. Joe Lonsdale has also donated to this as well, one of the founders of Palantir. Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss, the guys, the crypto billionaires, as well as they were obviously involved in the startup on Facebook. So nothing Tesla specific, but Elon Musk always in focus here somehow.
Yeah, I was just seeing there's Baird with a note this morning. I mean, it was just a maintain at outperform 280 price target for Tesla. Looking pretty good so far, guys.
I was just telling Sean, I almost feel like I've never heard of the Winklevoss twins referred to by their names. Usually you just call them the twins, which is cool. But Tesla, interesting because Sharif and I were looking at something on Tesla that remains to be seen today, but I would say if you do another one of these wick failures above 60 into 65, that would be a bearish sign, especially if you take out like this local bottom here at 252. Because when we had that robo-taxi delay, like that's the hammer on the daily chart. And then we had a clean bounce off of, not exactly where that trend was. Oh goodness, now this chart went load. Where we had the trend breakout. Adjacent to it, that day when it broke the trend, it was 230. We bounced off 230, so I think that was a good sign. But overall, now you have the wicks underneath that 260, Robo News, failure to break there. So if we fail another break at 65 and do not hold the low, I think that's a pretty bearish sign. So if we lose 252, that's no good at all. I have eyes on this 265 zone. It's hard not to look at that level with the robo-taxi news and not think fail breakout, look short. So I might be sitting this out unless it gives that setup. Fail breakout, does not get through 65, and then look for the short back through on Tesla. So Tesla's up that 1% today. The good news for that is if it holds the opening range over 260 and can hold that for the first 30 minutes and you don't have a reversal, then you can look for a continuation trade to the upside. I'm not nearly, and only because I always talk about these two in tandem. When it comes to Rivian, I know Rivian yesterday, Rivian, like the short on Rivian, I don't think I want to change anything about the plan for Rivian. Rivian was an 18 short. It looks to me like about the same thing. If it fails at 18, look short on Rivian. It was a flat bottom break at the open. It then resisted it throughout the midday. Obviously, if it breaks out from 18, you got to get the heck out of Dodge and then wait for 19 even. But yeah, I don't know that I would change much of anything. You had the previous close, you had the breakdown, you had resistance all morning long on Rivian. So it's pretty close to that level as we speak. Those are the two EV names that I'll be looking at. I know people are looking at that Lucid, but I don't know. Every time I look at Lucid, I just feel like Rivian's a better trading opportunity. So
we had, I never really trade Lucid. I don't like the
except
price.
for that one day, the Saudi day.
Yeah. Well, didn't it go up to like $17 or something one day? It was absolutely insane. So, all right, yesterday we had this 253. I mean, believe it or not, we had this. And I don't know where I know where we picked it out from. We had talked about a move happening off the open, right? And then we just looked at this kind of a level right down here, that 252 was probably going to be a level that we really wanted to level into or layer into. So we just took the 253 long, and that happened to be the bottom. It ripped back up, and we wound up taking, I think the highest we got out was a breakthrough 260. So about 7 and change or so. I think it was 260.50 and change where we wound up getting out of that last piece. So about $7 right off the open. And that really started the rally for Tesla before it got faded out. Now we have this news with Elon Musk now going to support this Trump campaign to the tune of $45 million a month. I put it down here on the sticky note today that Tesla was going to be my #1 trade idea down here at yesterday's close. So we had a nice dump yesterday into 252, 253. We had a good move yesterday in the afternoon down to this level as well. As we do understand that JD Vance is against some of these subsidies for new energy, right? We saw yesterday Enphase, TAN, ETF, some of the solar names, First Solar getting hit as well on the back of that announcement. So for right now, I think Tesla's a little in the doghouse just as far as momentum is concerned. But when it gets going, you get monster wins. And that robo-taxi, I mean, this stock was cruising, right? And then all of a sudden you had that Bloomberg report delaying the robo-taxi, and then we came out and clarified some of that, which we were waiting for. And now you get that, oh man, what's that stupid wick for? Now you get a nice bounce back up. And look, the 200-period moving average is right here at 255. So we're getting into these areas of support again. Nice move up to 264. I really like this area down here, 252, 253. So I'm going to try to buy that as much as we can until we lose that 250 level. And then I could see the tides turning. I don't know if we get back to 234 anytime soon, unless there's maybe recalls, but that doesn't really happen for Tesla. Bad China numbers could come through as well. There's lots that can work for this company, but there's also a few things that could go against it, right? So you know what I was actually thinking? Truth Social makes absolutely no money, right? Someone named Elon Musk is now supporting Donald J. Trump. Elon Musk also owns something called X.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, DJT, this Truth Social, is trying to be X. So I don't know. Whether or not Donald J. Trump here, this stock down 10%, and there's news specifically on this as well, and we're going to get to that. I don't think it's a bio candidate at all, but I mean, I don't know. I've seen weirder
Buy
things.
it for 10% of.
I've seen weirder things happen. Yeah, I mean, he's not going to pay a premium, I wouldn't think, on this price of the shares. But anyway,
They could put a floor.
that
on
was
it,
just
though.
something I was thinking about when I saw Musk's support for Trump. Just thought about DJT stock. That's all. All right, Palantir downgrade. Time for me to go to the bathroom.
And even the shop upgrades at the bottom too.
I mean, we can just skip. Anyway, day lows just tested there, almost 1.8% right now on this. Yeah, Mizuho with the downgrade today. From neutral to underperform?
Eek. But here's the funny thing, Brendo. They actually increased the price target by $1, a whole dollar. All right, let's talk about their rationale. So Mizuho expressed concerns about Palantir's valuation, deeming it excessive and unjustified. Those are their words, not mine. Despite acknowledging Palantir's generally strong performance in recent quarters, they note that the previous quarter's beat of around 3% was a little underwhelming, and they think that it's a bit overvalued as a result of that. They also say that it lacks transparency possibly here and likelihood of inconsistent results. They express doubt about their ability to consistently deliver robust performance and accelerated growth. We'll have to keep an eye on this one. But I've got to tell you, there's 6 brokerages that maintain a buy, 6 with a hold, and 7 with a sell, Brendo.
Yeah, it's not often you get nearly 2% move on just the downgrade here, guys. But PLTR grinding along the lows today.
You know what? For the sake of a trade, I actually wish it was down a few more points. Because when I pull up the chart, I just don't love the diddle in the middle thing that it's doing right now. Like, it's just, that's not what I want to see. I think it would be much more interesting if we get a push, like fail 28, which I don't know if it's going to happen or not. On a downgrade, if it was some other kind of news, maybe I'd be thinking a fail breakdown, like a breakdown at 28. But look at 27. Like, look at the reaction, the wicks down here, the response when it's gotten down to the 27 level since it gapped it. It's been a hard bottom. And good reaction after the fact. So if it does, on this news, fail 28 even, you know what? I didn't have this on my note. I wasn't really paying as much attention to it because it wasn't doing anything in terms of movement pre-market. But yeah, 27 looks pretty solid here. You know, set yourself an alert. I mean, it'll be hard to miss if this thing drops $1 at the open. So it's not as if you're going to miss it. I'm sure everyone will be yelling if Palantir does a dollar drop. I just don't think it's very likely to come into play today. So I doubt I trade Palantir.
Yeah, Palantir, I wrote down 27.50, which is pretty much $1 drop from where we are right now. So I think that's going to be a level that I'm going to look at. And I don't, use anything but my eyes to try to judge this stuff. So right down here, if we can I zoom out any more than this? No, I cannot on our minute chart. Okay, so let's go to a 20-minute chart here. Look, I still like the name. I think a downgrade is fine. It's really outperformed the market here over the last little while. We're up pretty solidly just in the last month alone. You could see this move from $25. I would guess Mizuno missed some of this and wants to get it a little bit lower, and that's fine. But this is the move, right? I mean, we've had this base down here at $24. This is really where I said that maybe we'd like to buy some more around 25. I really think this 24 is going to be a good hold. But if we're talking about a trade for today, why not just get back into past couple days support? I mean, congratulations, you might have won now, because a lot of people will see that downgrade, try to take advantage of it, sell a little bit, because it could be headed into this 27 area. So again, I just look at this. This goes back to July 5th. So it hasn't really moved a lot since then. I could see us floating back into 27 here at some point. It has violent moves. So we've traded Palantir before on news when they've had contracts and whatnot. It can really get going early. Like yesterday, why did this thing drop from 28.50 down to 28? That's 50 cents on no news yesterday before popping up almost $1.50. So, now we actually have something behind it. It's a downgrade, and yeah, someone's sour about not being long enough on Palantir, and they're going to buy a little bit more now. So there's the 200 period at 28. We'll see if it holds. There's probably an imbalance here with Palantir, I would say. And no, see, like they're a buy? Like, come on. I mean, who's actually believing this? So let's wait to see what happens. I want to be sitting down there around 27.50 to take a tester position. And then what I've learned from trading, especially in these markets, you don't need to be sitting somewhere to get run over. Yesterday, we let Tesla drop $7 or $8. We can let Palantir fall down as well. Let's bid some 27.50. Let's try to get a third of our position at that level. And then if it continues to fall down, we'll have to check out that 27. So for me, Palantir is a long, but yeah, it needs to get worked off a little bit here, up 2%, down 2%. I think it could go lower.
To come to play. We were just talking about this note on DJT, back downside right now in the pre-market here after. I mean, the aftermarket was pretty ugly, little on what happened during the session yesterday. We get all the way back to 36, 35 and a half even after the close. Yesterday on this 37.97 mil share, not notional, share resale agreement. And this is a standby agreement or something called a standby agreement with this Yorkville. So it's $2.5 billion notional worth of shares. And again, they have not, down here, we have not issued any shares to Yorkville yet. So something they could pull the trigger on when needed, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to have that option, to have that liquidity. We know that they're still not profitable at this point, still burning through a lot of cash, not much coming in. We'll have to keep an eye on the fundamentals. Obviously, yesterday, the Republican National Convention started, Donald Trump making an appearance there, as well as announcing his VP candidate. So we'll keep an eye on this one, see if it's in play today, Brendan.
Yeah, back downside right now, as I mentioned, got to hold that aftermarket low from yesterday if it needs to, or if it's going to go higher today.
Big Patty Ice, my savior over there. My footrest just failed, which it's a very high-tech solution that I've got going on to prop my leg up, and the cushion just fell. But DJT, the good news for DJT, it was my worst stock yesterday. I mistimed the bounce. It ended up being down here at the 38 level. We tried it a couple times at the wrong prices, but it's trending. There's nothing good about it. It's the trend down that has to worry you. It is going to be SSR, so down 10%. It always has me thinking of a potential short sell restriction bounce. I gotta wait this out. We didn't time it right yesterday, and I think that's because I was too fixated on a price area instead of just allowing it to make the bottom. So when it got down into 40s, I just kind of looked at that 40 and the 42 and said, okay, let's just go for it there instead of letting it make a bottom. So yeah, it'd be easy to say there's a level at $35, look for a long in there, but anywhere in that gap could be a wick bottom for a reversal. So if I don't see something like this, I'll go to a 3-minute chart so we can go over this a little bit more granularly, because if you're just getting long because you see a buyer step up at a random level, and you're like, oh, I like that level, and one or two people step up for some size, and then you just kind of join them, yeah, it might make a little bit of a move, but it's much better to be involved after it shows you the reversal, then get the long in here somewhere. So I want to see that kind of a setup. Show me Show me a dip that gets to 35 or wherever it happens to be holding 10% down, make that reversal candle, and then I'll make the attempt. Because if you go long here at 39, half yesterday, and I lose on that trade, I'm not angry with it. You waited for the setup. You got the chips in when it actually made sense for a bounce play. This one would have worked into VWAP, but at least you were patient enough to wait it out. And that's going to be the approach to DJT for me here today. It's just going to be patience. You don't have a ton of price history for it. It's not the most bullish looking reversal. So if it's an SSR bounce, it's going to have to be something very patient that we wait for. Clearly the trend is down and you want to see clear signs of some kind of a reversal on it. Any of the sympathy names can be in play today, but I didn't even pay for locates on Funware. I think I just want to, if I take a trade in DJT, I'm just going to be focused on that for the SSR bounce. So no idea for me at the open. I'm not going to predict where the price is going to bounce, but as long as it hasn't filled in the entire gap to 32, then I'll be looking for that reversal. Show me the green candle first at the bottom, show me the consolidation higher, and then I would go for the bid on DJT. Otherwise, we stay away.
Money.
Show me the money.
You know what? I wonder if I'm always looking for different movies to watch with my kids. I think Jerry Maguire's probably has bad language.
Well, no, but
I'm okay with the language.
but Barron can watch Jerry.
Oh yeah, that's I don't.
Yeah, I mean,
I think there's websites. My wife, there's a couple websites where you can like
watch.
put in and it'll tell you like what the bad things are. For me, the major thing.
I don't think there's
for language. I don't care. Like if they're gonna drop an F-bomb, but it's like an appropriate time or something like that.
I don't think they.
I mean, honestly, our kids hear a lot of that. For me, it's more about the nudity and stuff like that. That I don't, Anyways.
Yeah,
I guess when you're 12 years old.
No, I think you're good with Jerry Maguire.
That might be a good one to watch. It's just been a minute.
I haven't seen Jerry Maguire in at least.
I don't even know why did we start?
decades.
Oh, because he said, "Show me the money." I was going to say,
you said, "Show me the money."
Yeah, I was going to say, why did we start
didn't say,
talking about that? Look, I mean, Neil just went over some levels on DJT. We're going to agree on them all pretty much. So, yeah, I say you just trade it. If it's down 10% already. It can't halt in the pre-market. So we'll see what happens here right off the open. I mean, that's just going to be the trade. I think it's smart. Neil probably talked about paying for shorts. I think that's a smart thing to do. Today, it's going to be really cheap here at Real Trading. So I would say stay in the pocket here. Wait for volatility to hit the name. The RNC is happening right now. I watched a little bit of it last night. It was pretty interesting there. I didn't notice Amber Rose has a tattoo right across her forehead, which was pretty interesting. But I don't know. I feel like it's sell the news. That's all. We talked about a huge move there up, obviously on that attempted assassination there, and then it just got faded yesterday. So I would say we were here on Friday, then we had the events of the weekend. The market told you it was a sell yesterday. We like to sell news anyways. RNC is a news event. So I would think that, yeah, you're probably coming back down into $30. So to me, that's where you'd buy it if you want to take a shot on Donald J. Trump's stock.
Talking about traveling. Amazon, back to the upside today in a pretty good way. There's a couple of analysts coming out touching on Prime Day and how it's been successful so far, even more successful than the past couple of years. So analysts already boosting this one based off something that's not even over yet. 195 trying to hold here on a pullback for Amazon.
Yeah, multiple nods today from analysts, Brendo. There are a couple of other headlines. Let's get to these. So Amazon chief executive, used to be chief executive, the executive chair, Jeff Bezos, sold 403,974 shares on July 11th for $80.8 million at the all-time high. That was made available yesterday through an SEC filing on the 15th. He did sell before that as well, but that was not disclosed yesterday. There's also this headline here. FTC is asking Amazon for details on the plan to hire from Adept amid growing concerns about AI deals. Inquiry centers on recent announcements of the Adept CEO David Luan joining Amazon on a licensing deal. So we saw this with Microsoft on the other side of the ocean with the CMA look.
Yeah. I mean, as far as Prime Day, have you shopped yet?
I have not. I want that same day delivery, Brendo.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance, but yeah, apparently going very well so far this week, guys, for Prime Day.
Yeah, I mean,
a Prime Day thing. Okay,
like you bought something on Prime Day.
Yep.
I'm looking back and it's like, yeah, maybe my wife should have waited to buy that bouncy castle. Maybe you could have found a Prime Day deal. We literally just bought it, but it doesn't really matter. Like I don't have anything that I'm specifically searching for, but I promise you there'll be several times today that I'm going to be scoping those deals like everybody else is going to do. But trading Amazon is a different story. Just because it's Prime Day doesn't mean necessarily great things. I mean, everybody can see what happened at $200. Now we can sort of see, it's only been a couple of days underneath, but this 196 has turned into a bit of an issue. So it's not the heavy consolidation where there's obvious accumulation resistance at 200, but it is this wick top at 196 a couple times. If this isn't breaking out over 196 half or even taking out 197, like to me, that would be the sign that you can go long back into the 200 level. Otherwise, the proof is in the pudding. If it can't chew through this at the open, I think you just got to look short in the afternoon. And the mistake yesterday was, well, I mean, yesterday I already went over DJT for you guys, but the mistake yesterday was not being short till the afternoon when it was giving you good trades off the 193. So if we do the same thing failing 96, I think you just got to be looking short underneath that. But if 97 goes, I wouldn't be fighting that because I think that's a long into 200. And if we sniff 200 today, you know what's up. Like there's only one thing I'm doing between 200 and 201 until it breaks.
So yesterday we lost money on Amazon. We talked about that. We lost too much money on it. So I want to be back on it. I think we're weak off 200. We've talked about that, the Bezos sell pressure, right? I'm looking for support down a little lower than where we are right now, 185, 186. So that would be my spot. But I'm thinking right now to try to test the 196 short sell because, again, Prime Day's here. I feel like they're going to break whatever record or whatever number they're looking at. So I do think it's going to be a good event. But, I still want to try to stay short here. I mean, these are still short levels that we want to try to respect. That was 196.50 there that we were playing off of early yesterday. We were short all yesterday, man, and we were up. And then we decided to go long when we came into this area. And then you saw this happen. And this is when we started, actually, this was 11 o'clock. Yeah, this is when it happened. Yeah, so we got hit right here as we made our way all the way back down into 190, and then I left it alone, and that was a great long back into the end of the day before getting hit again into the close. So I feel like we are a little bit up. It looks like we're up 1%, and it's just because we did get a pretty huge move down, but then we did average it back up, closed at 193. So I feel like there could be some support down here at 193, but I want to try the short first. And I think if you do break, you don't want to be stubborn with this. I feel like $1 is worthy of something. So there's 197. Neil already went over that level. I think if we break that, that's 196.50. 197 itself doesn't seem to be too significant, but it would give me that $1. So I think that's what we'll do. If we can get short 196 again, hold it against that 197. If that breaks, we can easily hold $1 hit, and then we'll work off of it from there. So yeah, for me, Amazon is a short, but it's a cautious one, being up 1.1%. I'm not in love with it. It's at the last name here on this list. I just wanted to look at it because for me, it's a day two play. Yesterday it moved a lot, and today I feel like it might do that again. And my wife bought something early today. I was telling these guys it was $60 or $70 off the newest AirPods. So
that deal, man.
Yeah. So she had gotten those. She had them before. Then they got wrecked, and now they're back in. She likes the sound when you're going walking. The what do they call the sound? I say that here all the time.
Yeah,
noise canceling. Noise canceling. I was like, I need some noise canceling headphones.
More coffee.
Yeah, and more coffee. I still have the. I was saying this because I had a Pixel pretty much my whole life. These are Google Pixel Buds, and they've been pretty good. They're a couple of generations old, but they're good. They're good little.
The quality of now is you don't have to replace.
Well, it's like I was with my brother-in-law, and I love this guy, but I go to him. He's like, "Oh, it's so hard to manage our calendars." They have 3 kids, and the wife's a nurse, so they have her schedule is back and forth all the time, and he needs to know the hours because he wants to come down to a Jays game. We went to one last year, and he had a great time. So he's like trying to figure out the schedule. I'm like, well, open up your calendar. He's like, we don't use the calendar because my wife is on Apple and I'm on Android. I'm like, dude, the calendars sync perfectly fine. Like, what are you even talking about?
That's not a problem.
I know. I'm just like, open. My wife, for the longest time, we were on opposite things. We use Google Calendar. I'm like, come on, bro. And this guy, he actually knows technology. So
if you have a family and you're not using a calendar, Like, I don't know how you manage your life.
It started with in the kitchen, they have that, and he made a chalkboard.
No, we have that too, but
Right,
we still use the calendar.
Yeah, so I just noticed on the chalkboard had it been updated for a while. I'm like, who's going to be writing everything on the chalkboard?
My wife
You just
does,
put it
actually.
in. Oh no, it's good to do it, but I mean, you just put it in your phone. You can access it wherever you want and double check it. I told him I thought the chalkboard was a wicked.
No, we have a problem whenever something is like she writes it on like the board, but it doesn't go into the phone, and then like I'm like, what? You're working late? Like you're working late tonight?
Right?
It was on the board. I'm like, put it in the phone so I can see that at work.
Yeah.
And then I know I can't.
That has to be the official.
Let's get into Shopify because 5% to the upside, the biggest upgrade of the day, boys.
Yeah.
And they're all full of their own software.
Bloatware,
Let's go to Shopify here. Not one, but two positive notes on Shopify this morning. One from Bank of America, the other Wolf Research initiating coverage on Shopify with an outperform rating as well. Huge move here so far, 5.25%.
Yeah, Brendo, decent look here. So Brad Sills from B of A upgrading this bad boy to $82 from $78, maintaining that or upgrading it from neutral to buy, as well. Shawata Karjuria of Wolf Research also initiating coverage with an outperform, setting the price to 80. So basically, some of the key factors here are large addressable market, strong competitive position, successful product innovation, and potential for significant profitability as supporting factors for the long-term bullish look. So we'll have to keep an eye on this one today, but go Canada.
Yeah, for not a lot, 480,000 shares traded so far, pretty thinly traded so far as well, guys, for Shop.
I feel like the daily chart's going to speak for itself with this one.
Shopify.
Because now that you've already bounced off support at 63, well, what do we look at here? It's about 68.20 is this local high. So if it breaks 68.20, then it's got room to run. If it doesn't break 68.20, then it's kind of like a fail at this point. So like the 68 even doesn't necessarily matter for me. Like if it breaks 68 and doesn't get through that first quarter, I almost think you fade it off of that. Otherwise, go for the breakout on Shopify. 5% today. It's not like it's a big short float or anything on Shopify. Nothing crazy anyways. But where is it? Yeah, it's only a couple of percentage points. You don't get their actual earnings until the end of the month. But yeah, the chart just can speak for itself. If it gets through that 68.20, I got to be looking for longs on a break. But underneath that, pop and drop. And now that it's up 5%, it's a great story. But when I sat down, and we joke about it, it had moved as much as Palantir when we sat down. That's why it wasn't the lead story. And I was thinking 66 would be a dip buy at the open. Then it decided to go ham and run like $2. So unless it gets right back into $66 for some kind of a bounce, I think I have to look first for that pop and fade on Shop.
Look at this story. First of all, Shopify. Let's go, man. Shopify is another name that we've been buying, and we bought it on the 60 break. We had it as one of our trades. So I just didn't buy it. I took more shares. I've been in Shopify for a minute, so I really liked it on that daily. Remember, I talk about this. I should have a shirt that says "Get that garbage out of here," because right now, all this stuff from down here, once you break higher on good names, we like that. There's a support from the 50-period moving average, up 4.5%. Shopify, we'll trade it. We had 60 long on the show as well when it was down there. So, we like that. I still think pullbacks probably in store for this up 5% on a couple upgrades. Seems like it's too much, but I, like Shopify running into daily resistance at 68. What a great opportunity that is. Like I said, the day that we can come in here and it's above the 68 level, I'm all over that long, and that might be today, man. We might get there today. That's probably why it stopped. So maybe it is a break actually at 68. Maybe I should take this a little more seriously. It's 9:28 right now. Thank you for joining us. Maybe a 68 long on Shopify. Oh, I wish I would have looked at that, which I did not. Amazon, by the way, Nepa right here, as this move here continues upside. I'm thinking there was, and I just didn't look at it. There's Shopify with an imbalance. Amazon just really. That's still Shopify. Oops, I changed it. That's why. Amazon got going there at 9.25. So boom, there it comes. Nice move up, almost $1 straight to the upside on what must have been a buy imbalance that's now probably faded off. But at the end of the day, Amazon's a buy here early. It was only up 1% when I was talking about it. Now you're up 1.6. So again, good move up there. Look, it just faded off the level that we wrote down, 196. But to take that early is ridiculous. So I'm not going to do that here on Amazon. We may have to fade a 200 play, to be honest with you, at this.
If it gets to 200, If Amazon goes to 201, I have been short 100%. Like because you're going to take it if it gets to 200, no questions asked. We only have 1 minute to go. We haven't talked about any chip names, which is weird. But Nvidia, a lot of people have asked about it. Double bottom or triple bottom yesterday at 127. Support for 3 days in a row at 127. So dip by 127. If that doesn't hold, forget about it. No fighting on that stock whatsoever. So with 40 seconds to go, as you mentioned, I feel as if whatever your plans were in terms of levels, there's a decent chance that Amazon is the one that's at the level right now. Shopify 68, Amazon 196. Like if it gets through 196 half, that's a big gap fill that I just let it fill the gap. But Prime Day, great. Yesterday it fell this exact level. So triple top on Amazon, kind of like a triple bottom on Nvidia. As we are about to go into Tuesday, should be a hot one. Remember, there's some meme stocks going. GameStop and Cost are both running on no news, so you keep an eye on those ones. DJTs, SSR, we'll be patient looking for any kind of a bounce. But let's ring it a dare in 3, 2, and 1, go. It's definitely ringing the bell louder these days.
Yeah, more aggressive. See, now that she's trading live, she's like, market, get this market going. Get going right there. What's up to Adara as we go? Okay, no surprise again, Amazon. There's the fade off 196. We're going to either look like a genius or really dumb. Probably both at some point today. But there's Amazon right now bouncing completely off or reverting from that 196 level that we wrote down. But I said it on the air that I didn't think that was a smart play. Right there off open. So let's see. I still don't want to get too judgmental on Amazon here yet today, as I still like the short, but I don't want to hit it yet. If SoFi does come down, if and but, right? I mean, if we can get back into the 720, we'll try it. But right now, SoFi opens up with relative calmness. Right now, Amazon's still at that 195. Another name that we like to look at is Tesla every single day.
NVIDIA's coming down.
NVIDIA's coming down. Okay, so that's a good one. Tesla goes the other way. Wow, we had Tesla written down as a long on here, of course. But what are you going to do? Now up $4, sorry. 255 flat, touching now 258 and change. $3 straight upside there for TSLA. If you're going to do anything, it's play the gap back to VWAP. But what VWAP? This name is Gonzo right here to the upside. Yeah, good rally time. 265 was the high
Here
yesterday.
comes Shop.
Let's keep that in mind. Shopify going to break 68?
So Shopify is at 67.70, about to break 68. The other thing happening is you're getting this push down to 127 on NVIDIA. So this is where we liked it. It hasn't quite gotten to the bottom here, about 30 cents away from the lows. As Shopify is now through that 60. It was 68.20. That was that top. It's trying to test it right now. Load. There it is. It's right up at that high for 68.20. If it fails here, oh yeah, no, it's not failing. It's punching through. Oh, pick me up. Yeah, I got a bad price in there at 30s. It takes a couple of seconds to load, but that's a bad price. If it doesn't hold 68, it can be a failed breakout. And NVIDIA, that 127 coming in right quick. I want to respect that level on NVDA. Apple, no dip and rip whatsoever. It just only ripped on AAPL like it's prone to do.
Oh, man, yeah, prone to do. Yeah, so we are long Shopify right here. I mean, that was a trade that we did not want to miss. I didn't have a stop on that either. I just went, when Neil mentioned that, oh my God, Shopify's breaking. I was like, okay. I did not pay for shorts on DJT, so I'm trying to...
yeah, I've paid for shorts on DJT. By the way, DJT, not really much activity at the open here on DJT, but we are watching to see if it does flush. Of course, today is the day that it doesn't flush. DJT actually moving to the upside. There was one wick down. It held 36 even, but that wasn't the level I liked. NVIDIA, yeah, we might not get a second chance at NVIDIA down here at that 127. 127.40 is the best that you're able to get on NVIDIA, it looks like. Yeah, we just missed that one. But you know what? You put an order down there closer to 127. You either get it or you don't get it. Sometimes you just miss the trade. Shopify can't get through 40, it seems. If it breaks a $0.50, wait for 69 even. Amazon, you had to have that one right away. If you had it right away, it would have worked. Now, oh, wait a minute, it just came right back. Wow, it was just screaming on the breakout a second ago.
Notice that.
And now it's, wow, what a reversal on Amazon up there. Okay, it worked again up at 196. That's okay, we're only on Shopify. And probably should have taken that shot on Amazon. 196.5 did hold for resistance.
Yeah, I like that play there, going short again. We were looking short 196, so that was a nice move up there into 196.5. Again with that sell-off. So We only took a piece out of our our Shopify right here at 68.35. So we're still long here at 12s. We'll see if it wants to go. Again, I'm holding out for higher here. I don't even have any offers out. Maybe we should get something out here. They got to sort my blotter by pending orders. Okay, there goes Shopify. Let's put something out again. I'm just making sure I don't have too many outs right now. We don't want to layer all the way out. But that was a decent move up. Here we go, 50 cents. This is a reloaded position. Double the fun on this one. Let's see a Shopify. Yes, sir. Money. All right, that's a good trade there for Shopify. Great breakout on the 68.50 level right now. So good trade there. We have a decent position. Whenever I'm in something early like this, and especially one trade, it is going to be an upsized position. But here we go. Let's see what happens now with Shopify. I'm offering some 60s right now. You're just a matter of, there it is. We got that there. Let's see how high we can go. We just got some 59, sorry. Over to Adara for some NEWS.
Keep an eye on DJT here, making a nice little bounce off the open. We have the information reporting that both Mark Andreessen and Ben Horowitz, who are co-founders of this private venture capital firm, Andreessen and Horowitz, are looking to donate to this Trump PAC. So just to clarify, we have two founders of a venture capital firm apparently set to donate to this Trump Political Action Committee, as reported by the information. So some more donations here potentially for DJT, guys.
Never heard of it.
There comes that move. Thankfully, I mean, sometimes the market is actually kind to you where you miss the trade and it goes right back up to that top. So that 196 half on Amazon, like it got up there. I missed it. I didn't even swing and miss. I just didn't have it up fast enough. My chart was loading up. We were able to get it back down through 33. It just tagged 96 and 95.6. So we're going to hold on to that one. Apple, we wanted to dip buy on Apple. No, let's just cancel the dip buy on Apple. Apple is already at 236 and only trending higher. So we got to look for what you can get. We'll play it by ear. If it dips back in, maybe VWAP and pre-market tops. But you got to be patient. I mean, Apple's already gone. You can't just chase the ghost at that point. But Shopify gets to 59. I think that's the next level. I know these meme names are making moves, costs at a double top for a high. But that's not something we're really looking at. But 20% of the upside costs in GameStop are moving. Just Shop and Amazon so far. Happy to be 2 for 2. But I wanted Apple, and it's just a matter of where we're able to now get it, as the dip buy did not happen.
All right. Yeah, so far so good here. We actually shorted as well Amazon there. We were able to get short at 69er, and we got out at 30s right there. So 40 cents on that trade. I like that trade. Let's see if we can make it again on Amazon. We'll get a little bit more shares, and we'll try to get out if we do break that high right there, 196.60. We'll take a little bit and then watch out for 197. That was going to be our out anyways. A little silly that we don't necessarily have that. But you know what we do have? Let's go, man. It is your biggest chicken dinner winner here today. And it's going to be Shopify. Good move here as it goes. I mean, good level. We're long at 68.10 on that 68 break. I wish I would have been able to see that earlier. I didn't. I was looking at it just when we talked about it. I didn't do enough pre-market work on Shopify. But good thing that we looked at it here. And we found that level. So we really, really like that trade. Come on, Amazon. Let's go, man. We really, really like this trade here for us on Amazon. What's up, Adara?
Some small caps here to look at. We have SPRC. This is SciSpark. This one has run in the past. Just announced that it has this U.S. patent application for treating metabolic syndrome and weight loss. Worth noting as well, though, is going to be the float and market cap for this one. We've got a market cap of around $580,000, so very small market cap, and a float of around 708,000 shares. So keep an eye on that if you're looking into SPRC, guys.
Let's go.
Can't say I am, but just look, not cost. Mara, just for everyone watching, Mara, crypto was a big move. It had a double top yesterday at 25. It's about to make a breakout of that 25 level. I like it dip by into 23, but I don't think we're going to get that. So watch this 25 potential break. You're right down into the pre-market low now on Amazon as it continues to flush. So there's your 196.5 zone. If it holds the low here, I'm out on a retest of 195 because that would be that higher low. So I'm trailing Amazon up here at that 195 level. Give it a couple of shekels above, but keeping it station to station. You're pulling back on Shop. You might get another chance at that 68. And Apple, we want it. If we can get it on this dip, this kind of would be it. Like it's at VWAP now, just held 235.40 here on AAPL. So we're going to play this off of the 235.40. The dip into 233 obviously didn't happen, everybody. So it's like you can't get a price it doesn't go to. But if it trends up, this is the first shot at a dip buy. We wanted Apple long today, so this will be our first shot at it.
Yeah, big time winner over here on Amazon. We just got some out. We still have a little piece, but we just got some out at 194.70 right there for basically, actually, I guess it was almost the dollar club there, 87 cents on that play. So a good trade right there for us on Amazon. And let's just see, again, can we continue it? I hope so on a downside push. But again, we are sort of counting our chickens there because we were able to get out when we're not in love with the short. We're going to try a reload somewhere around 196, if that is possible. Okay, so we're out of almost 2/3 of our Shopify trade as it went that dollar. I mean, we got a lot out up here, 70s, 60s, whatnot. So that's going to look like a good trade for us so far there for Shopify. So nice move to the upside, taking advantage of that. We're going to wait for 67.50, basically a pushback to view up at 68. 67.50 is where the 50-period moving average is. So something in and around there, we'll be worried about it. But until then, 99 problems. Trading so far today ain't one, as we've got a winner, big winner on Shopify, and a really good winner there. Not huge, but good enough on Amazon, extending that up. So again, yeah, good days here. Let's check out what Tesla's doing now. One quick time. Ooh, dipped into 253. This is that level that I thought we liked. This is the level from the long yesterday on TSLA. So I'm bidding down here. We could get hit at 252. This is the level that we liked. Why is Tesla making this move? I don't know. But it is down into 252.
Oh boy.
So there's 253 right now coming in on Tesla. Maybe worth a shot here, unless there's news I've missed. Tesla making that move down.
Yeah, and the second you said that, I knew, Rivian was free money at 18 again. But you had to have it really early. Obviously, we went to Amazon, let's be real. But 18, look at 18 on Rivian. Obviously, it's going to move with Tesla sometimes, but a big rejection on Rivian. Maybe it gets back up there when we get a second crack at it. Oh, goodness, we definitely missed our chance there. But Mara is at $25. Or, never mind, it was at $99 a second ago, and now pulling back into $24.88. So you're really starting to crest up here on Mara. It was a huge runner. We're not going to get a chance at 23. It would have been an absolute gift horse if we could have dip bought at 23 at some point. But a 25 break looming here as Bitcoin continues its rally. It's at 64,000 Bitcoin, by the way. So Mara about to break out this 25 any second now. Got to give it back to the 80s on Mara. I don't know what Riot's doing. The Riot was good. Mara was just a little bit stronger on that daily. I'm going to give it back into the 80 level for the breakout. And even if that loses, I'd still be looking trend buys off of VWAP. This was such an absolute rocket ship yesterday to respect. Shopify right back into 68. So it doesn't break 68 and then 67.80, which is pre-market highs. It's got to hold here. If it doesn't hold here, there's not going to be any kind of a reload. I want to see this putting in some higher lows. Cost still moving for everyone out there as well. And as you mentioned, Tesla is at that 252. So yeah, it is what it is. There's your higher low now on Tesla off of support. I want to see buying, just like DJT. I made the mistake of being early on a lot of buys for dips instead of trying to catch the other way and be willing to miss the trade.
Yeah, we're waiting. I mean, I was trying to wait for 252 here as well. We're into a small piece, of course, because, hey, man, you got to take a trade that you like. And I like the trade, just I'm not exactly sure on the levels. So right now, we're long at 90s. If we could take 40 cents on this play right there, which we just did, let's spin the money now for Tesla. Let's see if we can make a real special play here. Amazon, good for us to hold this. But let's just reward ourselves first. Let's bid down here in the 90s if we can get it. Come on, Tesla. Here goes Tesla, Neil. That is what we're talking about. It's coming into it. It is now a $1 winner right there on Tesla. So we've had a $1 winner on Amazon. We've had 80 cents on Shopify. We'll now have $1 on Tesla. And there it is, man. It is your sticky note. It is your number one trade on the sticky note there today is Tesla going long at 252. We did it again here today. That's yesterday. We had a big trade on Tesla, and there it is right there. Tesla 252 long. So we started it at 253. We averaged it in twice down here. Let's take some more out as we get back up to the upside. One last out here, and then we'll see, right? I mean, the market's trying to pull back, so maybe we get that high level there on Tesla. We've already took a piece out at 254. So good trade there. We'll see if it can extend upside right now. 253.70. Oh, I was just sitting there. We missed it. It went to 60s. I'm at 253.70. One more push, and we should be able to get that out there on Tesla. There it is, man. It is another dollar. So dollar so far on Amazon. We're in the Amazon dollar right now. Cha-ching. We're in the Tesla dollar, and Shopify has fallen back in. So let's have a quick look here to see what your boy's going to do on Shopify.
Yeah, that trailed me out on Shopify.
Yeah, 67.50, I've told you guys, is my trail. So right now, we're long Shopify at 87s. Let's see what winds up happening. Let's get some out if it gets back near $68. But Shopify, Amazon, and Tesla, your boy over here is going to go 3 for 3. It's Hydration Nation.
That was random. Hydration Nation? Yeah,
I'm a pretty random dude.
On that push to the upside, I looked to get Rivian short when Tesla bounced upside, but it didn't get to $18. It got to $17.90 as a lower high. I'm going to try and grab it there. It's just, like, I know it's trending up. I know it's up 1.5%, but yesterday's resistance level is about the only thing that we're concerned with. I'm out of Shopify, so we're basically left with Mara at this point. So Mara still holding up at that 25 level. If it maintains this breakout and gets back above 25 for consolidation, I might add to it. Otherwise, we're going to wait for the dip.
On the second
Amazon still falling in there. There was no chance to get back in at VWAP. So just the next available pop, we're going to look to short the pop. Probably VWAP 195, 195 half on that one. NVIDIA, hey, 127. You could say it bounced off of that level. I would say it didn't get quite close enough. So I'm going to cancel my order. It's already at VWAP and trending higher. So if you got the dip buy, congratulations to you. I missed it, like I said, by 15 cents. But that doesn't mean you can't chase it into VWAP here. So we'll see if we can grab that on any kind of a bounce off of VWAP. Higher lows are good, but I actually want some things to go down because we just picked up Rivian on a lower high. So Rivian falling back underneath VWAP after a second test at that $18 level. Just yesterday's tops that we're working off with on NVDA. DJT, for everyone out there, you're probably excited because it's trying to go.
Wow.
If it were to get to 42, I'd be looking fade on that one.
Guys, I know Neil's busy in the morning. We all have our little notes, but hopefully you guys, this might be one of the best days in sticky note history. Tesla 252 long, right now $2 we just took on that one. Amazon 196 short, that's $2 in the money. So far the only two trades that have hit are Tesla and Amazon, both $2 right now in the money off of those levels. So yeah, man, it's been a jam so far here today. We're going to go 3 for 3 with big time movements here. I mean, I don't know if Shopify is going to work or not. We're going to take another piece out here at 68, and this could work huge. This could be the number one for me on the P&L side of things right now. Could be this Shopify trade. As there it goes, let's go. There's another 35 cents on that one. It is. Another one. There goes Shopify. All right, I mean, what a level we gave down there at 67.50. Good hold. Great opportunity there for everybody. There's our out at VWAP on Tesla. We now have 20% left on that one. As Shopify, Neil, continues to make that move, props up Shopify there today. And again, guys, this is what we're doing. Making that money, hopefully, being able to find trades, find opportunities. It's listed right there. It's all for free. It's on your sticky note. One more time, $1 on Tesla. Right now, we just took 2 though. 50 cents now on Shopify on a reloaded position. And then Amazon really sang all the way down here to 194. That's $2 off 196. So again, these are going to be big names, and just glad to be here to look at those. One other name that's on the sticky note was Palantir, and we wrote down 27.50. The bottom there was 27.70, so my bad. We missed that one by 20 cents. How's everything going over there?
I'm trying to be patient. There's no reload down there on Amazon for me because I'm not shorting the bottoms. And then NVIDIA's pulling back. It's starting to look a little bit heavier, but it's trying to bounce off of VWAP here, so I want to see it hold, close above VWAP, and then look for a bounce into the long side. Rivian it's still relatively strong. You can see it's up 1.5%, but it's underneath VWAP for lower highs. So I still like that short. We didn't get it at 18, so the chance to be all in doesn't make any sense at 17.90. It's got to be the 18 level that we work off of. But we are getting a bit of a pullback in the overall market as well. So you got to respect that short trade. Like I said, I don't want to chase. Like I was trying to be patient on Amazon to reload at VWAP, but it's not really getting there. it's curling underneath the 195 zone where we took it out. We took it out for the $1.50, and then it does seem like it wants to make another channel even lower than that. The only short I got on here is Rivian, and I don't feel like chasing anything. I know COS is moving. I know GameStop are moving, both of those, but they're starting to look a little bit heavy as well. It looks like the market might be giving it up. If it goes red, it's Amazon I want short, and it's adding to Rivian. Outside of that, I don't really have much else that I like short. We wanted longs and other things.
Yeah. We are.
NVIDIA's losing VWAP even there.
We are loving trading life right now. That is for sure. Things are starting to work out for us. There goes Tesla, though. It just cracked lower. So watch out here for Tesla. We're long at 52s now. It just came back in. Good couple outs right here. But there it goes. It's going to lose. It's going to lose this level. And there it goes. It just lost it. We got out of some there on this break. Watch out for 250. Tesla's getting flushed right now down into that downside here. Look at the market breaking as well. So, what goes up must come down at some point, I guess. But Amazon right now, we're $2 in on that one. We got to worry about Tesla. I'm trying a little piece here ahead of 250. Let's see if 250 holds. We did get stopped out of that 252 trade. We got out at 251.50. So the theme today has been trying to hold things 50 cents or so against you, because look at the Shopify. Shopify now, Dollar Club on Shopify as that name continues to go higher. But it's Tesla that is providing me with some worry here as we get into that 251 zone. We're long at 251.60 here on Tesla.
Yeah, it just wicked the 251 level for me, so I waited for it to get back above it. 75 is actually the local bottom. Maybe should have waited for 250. I actually think 250 is just a round number. It either bounces here at 246 to 48, and I'll zoom out when we get a chance to do that. But it just had a buyer reemerge at that 51, so that got me in. But I'm not going to hold it past that low. Yeah, I would rather take a pot shot. Remember we said wait for it to actually make a bottom? Let's be a little bit more patient than that. If it's filling in this gap, your support is down here at like 46 on the 15-minute. I just tried, when that was happening, I tried to grab Rivian underneath VWAP as it was flushing. No dice. They pulled the bid on Rivian when Tesla broke that 252. So either you were already in it for that play, or you're just going to have to wait for it. So looking pretty heavy to the downside on Tesla. Here comes Amazon back into VWAP. So patience. I'm really only looking at the same stocks. Tesla, obviously Amazon as well, Rivian. But here comes Amazon back into VWAP. This is where we want to take that reload. If we're trend down, then you're short into VWAP or you're long into VWAP if it happens to be a strong stock. This one I think is weak.
We were looking for some more Tesla down there, and we just missed it. We were bidding 251.30s there, 250.30s, and we missed that trade. As here it goes right back up. Let's see. We just took some out at 50 there. We'll see if we can get it back. We took some out for flat. Again, I do have another offer upside in the 80s if we can get it. But here it comes. Yeah, so it's a good thing we got something out there. Here comes Tesla back in. We're trying to watch the futures as well. Remember, like we just had a nice move back into 20,600 right there. On a little bit of a longer term, I still got to watch out for that Tesla. I mean, I don't think that seems to be sick for right now. That bottom 250, so that's what we're looking at. There's the bounce off of 600, 258, right? So if you're watching out for the 200 period moving average, right here, 20,582. So here comes the market. You could see trying to make that downside push through 20,600, which means that some of these longs will not hold for us. But the one name that we were able, that's Tesla, we're able to take a big advantage of is Shopify. Again, up 7% today, man. It's like play strength, play moves back down in. Tesla, not one of those. Shopify is one. Amazon as well, back up to a nice little level for a possible short. What's up, A?
Part of the show brought to you by Benzinga Pro. Tired of being late to the trade? Always playing catch up in the market? Missing out on the big moves because you're too slow to the news? Benzinga Pro is your unfair advantage. Get breaking news alerts up to 30 minutes before everyone else, pinpoint exactly why stocks are moving, and join a thriving community of traders who are sharing their strategies in real time. Ready to see how Benzinga Pro can transform your trading? Visit benzinga.com/pro and get a free 14-day trial.
And get that news while it's hot, while it's good.
Yeah.
Obviously, you saw. The last time there was news in the middle of the day was at Tesla, and it was like a $15 drop to the downside. We just got out and rang the register on Rivian. It just wicked the pre-market low. So this is also, it's double barrel action. It's yesterday's close price. Look at all the consolidation. This is why I want to get out. And Tesla also trying to bounce off 250 at the same moment. So if we get another shot at this, maybe VWAP, maybe 1790, something along those lines there for Rivian as that one continues to go to the downside. Now DJT is going. The irony on DJT. But we just got out of, wow, Amazon, did it just get through VWAP? No.
Doing big things?
No, it did not get through VWAP. No, VWAP is at 195.50 here, not 195.25. Okay, so VWAP's at 195.50. Maybe one of my charts had it wrong. Make sure we had that right. I should still be in this to VWAP, so I'm just going to get back in there. Mara is retaking the $25 level, so we're going to take a second swing over there at Mara. The first time it does not hold the break. Let's see if he can do it this time. Obviously, you're not really at that 64,000 anymore if you're tracking Bitcoin, but this is a breakout on the daily after a 23 bounce. I want to give it a couple of shots here. Otherwise, I think you could be pulling back into that big 23 zone. So Amazon shouldn't have been out in the first place. Now Tesla's right back at the low. This could have been early out on Rivian. But if we get back to VWAP, I want to still look short on Rivian here as that's trending down. I think just with Tesla.
All right. Yeah. So look, we're long. We just got some out of Tesla. We were like, oh my God, we're going. And then we stopped. We got some more out at 251.50. So that's, again, another 40 cents or so on the win there for Tesla. But again, we already lost on it right here trying to protect that 252 area that we liked. So let's try to just see what we can get here for Tesla. I'm waiting at 252 now. See a bit of a high side take. And then if we get back to VWAP, I mean, we like to really fade VWAP trades, as you guys know that when we're still in the money here with Amazon, 50 cents. I'd rather go long than short Amazon, I think, at this area. But it's a pullback into VWAP, so that would generally be that. I'm going to wait for 196, just a little bit higher than that. But this would be a good protection against some of my longs here going short on Amazon. But we're already 70 cents in on that one. I like the name. We'll see if it can get going, though, even further than where we are right now, Amazon. All right, and then Shopify. Again, starting to get out of more Shopify up here. Let's get something out at 40s if we can. There it is. So we get that piece out. I'm okay with this name. Again, big trade. It's going to be P&L number one, and for good reason. Again, upgraded today, starting to break out. We actually did the work on that right with everybody. I made my decision up as we talked about it with Together Live. So yeah, we wanted that 68 break, and it hasn't failed. It went down 20 cents. So for me, a very, very comfortable level there for this name. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. Continue to hold on to something here and see if we can make something else happen. So right now on Shopify, up into 50. I'm going to try to give this one a little bit lower, and that is Tesla, because there's the break right now. I was looking at 248 maybe. We got some out. We can afford to hold this, but it doesn't mean it's the right play, as we don't want to be in weak names. But there it is. Dollar in the money on Amazon, but $2 now out on Tesla as that continues to fall in, looking for 248 as a possibility here to be a bot. Let's just double check it. Right into there. So that's an area, 248.50 or so. I
think I like 46 in there. I mean, I feel like you're going to get there at some point. We probably made the wrong call. At the moment, we probably made the wrong call to just scalp some out of Amazon, but I got to go over to Rivian, which when Tesla's making fresh lows, it's right back at VWAP. So we'll have to play this one tight to the vest if we're shorting lower highs. If it loses VWAP to the good, and good is when the stock is going up, but I'm going to be short it, then we just have to jump out. We're going to try and get short underneath VWAP here. Amazon maybe shouldn't have been a scalp sum at the 95 because it's holding this VWAP underneath. So I don't know. Again, VWAP was different on my other chart. Sometimes it's just where you chart it from in the morning. The data starts at 6 o'clock or it starts at 7 o'clock. It'll be a bit different. That was my mistake for getting out there. So 194 double bottom here on Amazon. If it gets down there, we get out of it. Tesla's still trying to make that bounce. NVIDIA, so there was no bid at 127 the second time through. We missed it the first time. Now you're just falling like an absolute rock. I still haven't traded on NVIDIA, and thank goodness, because I was looking long. That first bounce was good at 127. Now it looks like maybe gap filled to 125. This market seems to want to go lower, and I don't think you want to fight it too hard, unless you're in a strong stock. Like, give me a strong stock out there, which right now just could be the means.
Yeah, it seems like everything's pulling back.
Cost is up 25%. It's holding gains up here as the market's pulling back I'll go figure. There's no news.
We've been able to get out a little bit here of Shopify. We're almost out of Shopify. We are almost out up here anyways. We got another piece out at 40, then just a piece out here as we break through 68. So we're still in the money here, 25 cents. Let's wait to see what winds up happening here with Shopify. I'm getting out. We've already have our stop down here breaking 67.50. So we'll probably stay away. When you make money on something, you don't need to keep going back to the well. If it's going to work, it's going to work. And I'm going to keep by that, right? And I feel like Tesla's another example of that. We're long Tesla here. We had to give this a little bit of room. We know this name can run, but it can also do what it just did to us and get to the downside. So right now we're long. We bought a little bit down there at 249 flats. So it was a good opportunity to pick something up. Let's just go. Let's see if we can get something out in the near 251. And then I would think that we could get back to VWAP here, but I mean, the market really has to cooperate with us in order for that to happen. So I think that's a possibility. So let's hold out hope that can get going right now. Still being a very, very big day for us because you know what, man? Props it up. I know Neil has this as well. This was not the number one trade, but this was our sticky note level of 196. So there it is, man. Follow that. And you'll be fine. It went up to 196.50. We said our stop was going to be 197. So that would have worked out for us. We don't have it until it breaks back down below. So it just goes to sometimes you wait for that confirmation. Look at this move, though, in the futures, continuously moving downside. So good little out there at 250 on Tesla. It's Adara and it's numbers.
Waiting on a couple prints here at 10 a.m. We're supposed to be getting the business inventories month-over-month for May, the retail inventories ex-autos month-over-month here for May, and the NAHB housing market index. So just a couple seconds before we get those numbers. Business inventories, we're looking for consensus of 0.3%, forecast of 0.2%, coming in at 0.5%. This is higher than the previous number of 0.3%, and the consensus of 0.3% and forecast of 0.2%. NAHB housing market index a little bit lower here than expected. So consensus of forecast of 44, previous of 43, actual print here coming in at 42. So let's see here, not much of a reaction here on the S&P 500. Bit of a green candle, but continuing to form a little bit of a top here. Q is actually a little bit weaker here than the S&P 500 so far in the day. That is basically the extent of the economic data we're getting today. We did get some retail data earlier today, but keep an eye at 2:45 for comments from Fed's Kugler, which could be certainly on watch for the market, as we know these Fed comments can make some moves. In terms of stocks to look at today, we have the Bank of America, BAC, this one and Morgan Stanley both reporting earnings this morning. Bank of America beating across the board and announcing an 8% dividend increase. So good look there. We also have DJT initially trading much lower, now trying to gain higher, still down about 7%. We had a report from the information that the co-founders of Andreessen and Horowitz are looking to invest in a Donald Trump political action group. So DJT trying to hold on to this area here, guys.
Market down. Yeah.
Yeah, Amazon. I got out of Amazon again at 194. It's going to lose it for a second time here. Like it's not like a random level. Like this was the top in the afternoon. It was support these other days. So that's why we've been getting out on the top short and then the lower high. But we just could be flat bottom breaking. I'm just only in the Rivian short. I mean, AMD is getting shellacked right now. Sometimes yeah, it's getting smoked. Like the market is really downside heavier than I was anticipating. So again, I'm not even in anything anymore. We're happy to have made the short work, but we got to find something else. NVIDIA is through 27 and tracking toward that 25 level. At this point, like Tesla at that 246 could be the next thing to come in, as I'm just scanning over the names that we're actually in. At this point, Unity apparently moving around here. I'm only in Rivian as Tesla continues to go further to downside. So shorting Rivian off of yesterday's tops. If it does manage to hold as short, I think down into 1740. So 50s, then 40s, and then we'll just see where it can go. The market seems to want to test overnight bottoms here on the NASDAQ, which it behooves us to actually show you when saying it. If we're going to bounce, this kind of would be the spot on the NASDAQ. Overnight lows, yesterday's lows. If we don't bounce here, I don't want to say we're not bouncing, but I think you want to be chill with any long ideas catching a falling sword. That can always be a bit painful.
Amazon is $2 in the money, and Tesla is now out 70 cents. We just bought 248s. We got some out at 249 a couple times there. It's going to be a red name. I mean, if we take it out now, obviously it will be a red name. But right now we are down on Tesla as all these averages in are just getting out on pops, waiting for that bigger pop to happen. Like right there, it just tried to go through 249 and completely stopped again. So I don't know, man. I think when it goes, this will go. But I'm going to take another piece out here as we just had another problem at 249. So there we go. I'll get a piece out. I don't know what to do at this point, honestly, with this name. Do I like it? Yes, but it is giving us some difficulties and some pause for concern here. That is Tesla. I don't really know why I like it because it's just been a pain in the you-know-what so far here today. But I think it's trying to bounce off of Apple's 233, so that's another good call right there. Good job getting out of Shopify when we went to the upside as that's trying to fade back in. But it's almost $3 now on Amazon. So again, yesterday we got hit on Amazon. Today it looks like it'll be, well, Shopify will be our PL number one, but Amazon right behind it as Tesla does not want to go. We just got another piece out there at 249er. Thank you so much, my good friend Randy. But for right now, I don't mean to lose you, but we have to go to Adara.
Morgan Stanley pushing higher here. We do have some comments coming out from its press conference. We have the CEO, conference call from its earnings report. We have the CEO saying that he's, quote, highly confident that the wealth division of the company will reach 30% pre-tax margin. Also, as well, some comments about the current investment banking cycle and being at the start of this cycle. So investors reacting positively to these comments from the CEO at the MS conference here, guys.
Yeah, speaking of MS,
Stanley, what is that?
Morgan Stanley should say. MS is obviously a horrible disease. Troubling one. They like something about, I was whining and complaining about Morgan Stanley. They like something about the conference call, clearly. Already back up to where it was at yesterday's close. We're just going to quickly go over this. It already made that bounce. I said I wouldn't trade it while the call's going on because of past experiences. But the banks, once again, looking, well, this one anyways, this one looking relatively strong. Maybe there's like some kind of pullback into VWAP. But the market this week, if they're going up, I think you want to buy the dips here. So VWAP sits at 104. Previous high break was 105. If we dip down into that, I think you look for a little something on Morgan Stanley. I always wait for the call to happen on bank earnings. I've told that story several times. Apple is trying to bounce off at 233. It just took a low at 233.40.
Tesla.
And then bouncing back to the upside. So we're going to play this back into this resistance, 234 and a half. It gets up there, we'll be happy to get what we got. Remember, the market's at overnight lows. Overnight lows and support. So if you find something at a good level, Apple just happened to be at that 233. I think that's where you go. 233 double bottom here in yesterday's trade.
So Tesla is going to get hit here. Good thing we got out of something at that last piece, but we're going to be red on this name as we're going to give it to 247.50. That was always going to be our out. We just came pretty close to getting stopped out right there, and it looks like we probably will do that. As remember when we saw it break through 249 and it was going, and then it stopped immediately, and then it not only did it stop, it faded back down like 50 cents almost immediately, like someone marketed it down off that level. So yeah, there's some big time selling happening right now in Tesla as it continues to go to the downside. I mean, the market's getting hit, and this is a weak name. So there it is. We'll hold a little piece just to see, but we'll go red there obviously on Tesla and be our big red name there. We always seem to have one of those. There it goes now, 247. We'll hold on to a piece to see if it can get back to the upside again for us. Shopify, our last 10% gets stopped out. Right there through 67.50, but again, Shopify, a really good name for us. Amazon, a really good name. It's 250 now in the money. Just bounced off 193. I feel like, was this a level yesterday on Amazon, 193? Nah, not really. Well, yeah, I guess it's where it's sort of where we closed right there. So pretty key area right there at 193. So we could have got something out there as well. But let's wait to see if that is the case here coming for Amazon. So 193 bid. Makes some sense to get something out there. But the market keeps going down, man. We just need to find a short that we like as well. It would have been Tesla. Tesla's by far,
it should have been
short there, I think. As soon as we knew that 250 broke, you could play 250 either way, right? Like you can go long, and then when it breaks, you should just go short.
Every down day, I look back at ARM.
It's like Apple.
And I'm like, why did I miss the ARM short? I think this stock is stair-stepping to the downside. Stair step 190, lower high, into a potential flat bottom break here at 172. I only go to ARM because it's usually a stock that I've looked at the levels for, but what are you supposed to do? You're going to chase it? It's already at the bottom. So there's your 180 fail. It's already at the lows. I feel the same way about this like Amazon. Like, now what? It's down at 193. VWAP's at 195 bucks. Like, where are we getting back into this thing? VWAP so far away. Why am I still offering VWAP? It's like $1.50 away from this. We have to look for another entry. So we're just in Apple. Rivian's starting to come back into the. Rivian's right back at the lows. That's just gone red. So the flush is definitely in. This will happen. Like, you can't complain if you're up, but candidly, I was looking for more longs and shorts. So when that happens, you get out of the longs that don't work and you find the shorts. But if you didn't quickly find enough, you find yourself in this spot where I'm not shorting the low. Just not going to do it. Like, that would be chasing. That would be FOMO. Apple's right back to retest that 233. Let's actually see it try to bounce off that low. If it can bounce off the low again, maybe we'll scalp trade back into 234 even. Even Apple looking heavy. We're right back to testing those overnight lows. It's like nothing changed. You got a little bit of a reprieve for a hot second, and even Tesla's at that 46 level.
We just took $2.50 there on Amazon, for the big one. So that was a good trade right there for us on Amazon. Tesla's like right at that. Are we going to try like a 245 maybe? I just got some out there when we broke through 246.50. So we're flat. Oops, wrong stock. So we're flat here on Tesla on a position. We're down on the day. But let's see. Is there going to be a bottom here? Might not be worth trying to catch it because now you're below everything. Is there a 20-minute chart here that might make something a little interesting? I'm waiting for like sort of that big exhaustion level to happen, and I don't really think that's happened yet. Just tons of red candles, waiting for kind of that first green one to maybe turn around a little bit. We do have a new position alert, though. It is Palantir. We like this name dropping into 27.50. So there it is right now, Palantir. New position alert. We said that there was a chance this could happen. So I'm going to have to wait out for that drop now. 26.90 or so here for Palantir. Let's see if there's something that happens on that one. So we'll try to go that long. Maybe now, I don't know. I mean, it looks like Tesla's trying to go a little bit here. That very bottom, we could try it off the bottom at some point. Something's going to have to bottom out. We may have to go back over to the futures. 245.90 right there was the bottom. So maybe 245.50. We could try that as our last sort of line in the sand here. We know we can make this all back on Tesla. It's just, yikes. It's been a hard trade so far.
It's back to 247, so it looks like 46 was the right place after all. It just bounced 46 into 47. Let me just quickly go to the 15-minute chart. There is 246.
Oh.
It was 2 days ago, afternoon support.
Yes,
so, Will,
sir.
we lost on the first long, and I don't know why I traded 251 instead of 250. It wouldn't have mattered. They both would have lost, but one of them actually would have been a better level to work off of. But now back into 247. If we see 250 again, I'm jamming out. This is way too big of a move downside. If you sniff 250 again, I think you got to get out of that trade. Well, I don't know. I'm going to get out of the long. When it's this heavy, it's down 2%. It's essentially what Sharif mentioned it first. You are now multiple wicks rejecting above 260 on the daily chart, and then you lost 252. So to me, that's a very bearish sign for Tesla. I don't like that one bit. So if you get up to 240 and I'm getting out and I'm looking for a place to go short, for now the bounce looking pretty good, I might just even trail this underneath 247. If it can't hold 47, I don't want to fight it. Like to have caught a bottom on this, go 1 for 2, I'll be happy to have taken it because this is a pretty heavy stock. Might get an opportunity on Rivian, I think, to reload it or get out if this gets back into VWAP. Shoot. You hit enter and it's on NY, but whatever. We just bounced off 1730 on Rivian. So I've trailed out of Tesla on the long. Yeah, I'm not reloading Rivian down here. Not going to happen. That's way too low. I'm just going to bid the bottom here and then just calm down. Look for the next available trade. Tesla, we waited patiently for it at that 46. It kind of gave it to us at 46, and we played it back into 47. It'll end up being a scalp trade. I can always go back over to Apple, which is still holding that 233 low, and maybe go for Apple. A little bit less volatility on Apple. If it can bounce off that low, I'd reload that one. But even this is looking weak. Like, you're right back testing these lows.
Yeah, we are. We're looking kind of weak. You're right about that one. As we go, so let's just. We're $1 in the money now on this reload, obviously, of Tesla there, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be a great trade here. There it is now, still going. We just took a piece out. So we took the reload down there, and then we took a piece out. So let's now wait to see if we can get back up into that 250 or so area. And by the way, we hit the sirens. And that was for Palantir. So there it is, man. That's another sticky note level down there at 27.50 that we just took for another 20 cents right there on Palantir. So a good little trade there for us at the end, putting Palantir right back upside. So good move to take that long. There it is, another out there at 71 as we get hit there on the offer. And we'll wait to see if we get back up to VWAP for Mr. Palantir. Hopefully that will get going there. A good opportunity to buy this. I was thinking around 25 or so. There for PLTR. But anyways, good levels, good names here today to trade. I hope you guys are making some money and some decisions here. It hasn't been the easiest trade. We've talked about that one, especially chasing that Tesla. But right now it is back. We'll only be red on one name, and it's Tesla here today. Everything else putting some damage, obviously, on the board there. You've seen the trading. So, so far, so good. But at the end of the day, it's Tesla that's going to rule the day for me to the downside. So we're not super happy about it. But nice move back up into 248, man. I'm going to take in this. I was waiting for 248.50. So let's just get greedy and do that. And by greedy, I mean, of course, I'm pretty happy with where it is right now. Let's take something out of 248.20s. If we can get it, that just was that recent top. So yeah, good play here. Not great on Tesla. Let's see where we go now. 248 just resisted that. So again, another top. We already got a piece out up here. We maybe should have got another one. Let's get it out above 248. Here it goes. One more push upside there for Tesla, and we'll take that $1.50 if we can get it. Just needs another little push higher, and we'll get that one. Palantir right here at 6.9er. We'll put another offer on this one, see if we can get it out. But so far, so good here for Palantir.
We got a halt here on Taboola. I haven't seen anything hit the wire. I saw someone in the chat say something. We're going to go to Dara in a quick little second here. Taboola, it's currently halted at 376. The tap is 401 a couple of minutes ago. Is it Taboola? I don't know. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it. That's my bad. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, that's my bad. We'll get to the desk in a quick little second. But Apple, I just reloaded this off the bottom. We're again testing this low here on AAPL. So double bottom here on Apple. The market's looking pretty heavy, trying to bounce off overnight lows. Let's go to Adara.
Axios reporting here that Taboola, TBLA, is going to be selling ads for Apple. So again, Axios reporting that TBLA will be selling ads for Apple, guys.
Look at Palantir right now. Good call there, Adara. Palantir right now, putting that in our pocket. Nice move up there for PLTR. You guys know this, man. I mean, you gotta put on shares when you like positions, and we like this one here for Apple. For PLTR, good little level here. I was waiting for 79. We can take a 76 and cancel, or 79. I hate to miss such nice moves upside because I'm not sitting there taking out profits. So there it is. We'll take that fill at 76 now and see if it wants to continue to go to the upside, as we'll use a gateway that pays, or that we have to pay for to make sure we get out. But there's the 76 as it rips through 77. And come on, Tesla, you can do it, man. We do take that $1.70 right there, as the bears have been roaring on Tesla today. So nice move upside there. Let's see if we can get, well, we got a little bit back, but we need to get a lot more than that. So let's see if Tesla can get to that 252 area, which would be pretty good. Yesterday we ignored Broadcom, and we can look at that again here today off day 2.
You know, I actually made a trade. I said I wasn't going to trade Broadcom yesterday. I made 2 trades, one good, one bad. It was slightly up, but it was more or less flat or anything. You'd be surprised, even after the split, the spread wasn't always as good. You think things would tighten it up and it would trade better. You almost had to trade it like ARM, where ARM has a bit of a spread. Apple just lost the low again, so there's the wick into 23. We had this second time. It bounced into the $0.50. We reloaded a third time, and it broke the low. So here comes the test of the even dollar now on Apple. It was almost to the penny that it held yesterday, but today you're seeing a wick underneath. Let's try to get it on some strength above. I wanted to see it test the even dollar. You're now holding above. If I can get back into the quarters, I will. Not at VWAP yet on Rivian. So yeah, I want to get back into the short. It's been lower highs on Rivian. We didn't get the first. We missed that 18. We're shorting Amazon that time. Then you get the lower high 1790, lower high 1780. The next would be VWAP here, in theory, at 1765. So we're just going to have to be patient with Rivian. Amazon, I think, same story. The market's bouncing. Well, the market's not really bouncing that much, but it's doing a little bit of a bounce, and Amazon's doing a decent-sized bounce. So let this get up to VWAP, 195. is now VWAP. If it can get up there, I think it can be okay. Down to Sky, definitely, I don't mind sharing some thoughts on UNH on the long term. I do own that stock, but right now I want to look for that next available trade. Apple's at a key level. Amazon and Rivian, I want to get both back into. And then Tesla, we could have held on for more. Certainly a good look to hold to 48, but the scalp, scalped it into that 47 to 47.5, and it's starting to look heavy again. So getting back into some shorts is kind of the priority if they set up. And Apple, don't want to chase it, but if we can get the actual 33 level, then we'll go for that.
Yeah, I'm trying to find something to short as well on pop-ups right now. We're going to hold a third right now, $1, almost $2 now in the money on Tesla. So we'll wait to see if that can go right there. But it's really the best stock for me right now, most recently, was this dip buy opportunity where we had wrote down, again, here on the sticky note, 27.50 for Palantir. So where we're long at is 27.55, now 30 cents in, and trying to even go higher from where we are right now. So far, so good there on this little play, a little name called Palantir that I just discovered the last couple of days. There it is, good mover. Let's see where it goes on this one, PLTR. Let's have a quick look at the TQs again, as this has been, again, the futures have probably, and there goes Tesla right now. It's starting to get heated up right now. Up to 259 right now, 249 goes Tesla right now. So good move there off that bottom, got stopped out some there, got back in when we saw that it was holding, but it was holding all these levels as well until it wasn't. So good move back there to the upside on Tesla as it's trying to go. So yeah, there it goes, 250. We talked about maybe getting back up to that. VWAP 252 and change for Tesla. That would be $5. Might be worth taking some out on a $5 banger there for TSLA, if that is what winds up coming in. So that would be top side 250. Again, I just think a fade back to VWAP is probably what's appropriate there. Palantir really going now, man. I mean, this is going to be one of the bigger trades again because of this. We wrote some stuff down here. We just got to understand that when levels break, we don't need to look for lower levels. So we're learning something every single day about our trading. There's Tesla 252. When that broke, we should have got out, or at least given it $1 like we did, and then not average back into it. There's Palantir 27.50. Amazon, amen for that, as that's been a monster trade for me. Amazon short 196. We stick our neck out and give you that one, and then there it goes. Nice move there. And if you're going to say that you like a stock, you better put up and at least make a little bit on that one, and that's what we wind up doing there. As here we go, it's a money trade. It is Tesla. That is $3 now in the money and going even higher, trying to break through that 250 back upside right now is Tesla. 251 is good enough for your boy if we can get that. So let's sit there around 251, $1 higher. Can we get it? Yes, we can. So let's see if that does come through here for Tesla. But without any further ado, Palantir 40 cents in, Tesla $3, and Adara at the big screen.
Shaping up to be another great day here for the Russell 2000. Looks like we're about to make a lower high, but now it looks like we're trying to find a little bit of support here just below that 221 level. So another great day here for the IWM as we had a couple days of rallies. This one, to start off here, we have NAAS. This one has been running in the past here. NAS Technologies, this one currently up about 30%. No news. They do have a float of about 4 million shares, so smaller float for NAAS. We also have Angiodynamics, ANGO. This one trying to gain some volume here. It is up more than 20% after earnings. They did beat on earnings per share and sales for Q4 2024. Also worth noting for ANGO, they have a bit of a short float here, just under 5%. Last but not least, we have Yoshitsu. This one is a TKLF, currently up more than 130%, or sorry, more than 100% here. They're a penny stock, and they also did release earnings, so they did beat for earnings per share and sales compared to the previous year. So good look here for TKLF. A couple earnings names on watch here in the small cap side, guys.
Yeah, if you're not looking at banks, the earnings plays are going to be small caps because it was a bank day today. There hasn't even been a dip since the call on Morgan Stanley. He just went back over to look at it. Was there an opportunity? No, unless you want to buy the absolute high, which I'm not doing. Double tap at the low, but I'll show you what's happening in Apple. Like every long is at a lower price, and every initial resistance point is at a lower price. The market made that good bounce, 50 points up, and Apple barely bounced. So I'm out of Apple. Like I look at the bounce that just happened in Amazon. Look at the bounce in Amazon. Look at the bounce in Tesla. Look at the bounce in Palantir. Just anything. I mean, I glanced over and saw Palantir, and Apple basically went 40 cents. That's not strength at that level. So I'm going to jam out of it. Maybe look for something a little bit stronger to maybe try a long in. Rivian just did this wick. Could not hold the pre-market support level. Tried to get back above. It failed it at 55. It just did it again at the same level. So I'm going to give it a shot here in front of VWAP. We'll get 54. Just get it out if it breaks 60, and then wait for VWAP. I'm shorting lower highs here on Rivian. We'll have an eye on Tesla. The other thing that happened is while that was going on, Tesla got to 250 and pulled back. Rivian doesn't have to follow Tesla, but if it happens to here, we can take a couple of swings at it. So just trying to be patient as things start to come back to the upside. Short the pops. If we're going to have a red day, I want to try to find my way back into some shorts. Amazon not at VWAP just yet. And for that TBLA, everyone out there, it opened up and continuing to go higher. It's now 20% to the upside. At $4.20, you can't make it up. That's the actual high.
All right, new position. Apple, we just took 20 pennies up there, up to 50s. So a quick little scalp in. I want to get a little longer here off 233. I mean, it's a good bounce level there. We've seen 233 before on Apple, and it's held. So let's wait to see if it comes back in. There's 233 right here. Good top from yesterday before we fade it out. So I like this level of 233. We're going to try to take it long against that on this drop down. And there's Tesla, by the way. There's Apple right there. A quick little chicken dinner winner as we are now in 30 cents of that. We only have now 10% left of Palantir because guess what? We went from our level there of 27.50 all the way up to VWAP of 27.90. So we'll hold a small piece back in here for Palantir. Tesla does not get through 250. So now that level is 250. So let's switch our offer and put it upside there at 249.85, something like that. See if we can get it just ahead of the 50-period moving average, which is that trend change. We said we were looking for opportunities to short off the 50-period moving average, and it looks like that just came in for us there. And we should have taken it out and even flipped short. I think a smarter man would have flipped short there. All right, here we go, man. We are long into Apple right now. Let's go over to Adara and see what's going on. Big trade alert for Apple. What's up, Adara?
We've had bank earnings and small cap earnings as we just discussed, but another earnings name here is going to be UNH, United Health Group. This was mentioned earlier, but this one's still strong here, up more than 5%, about 5.5%, beating across the board. So just keep an eye on UNH here as well. Holding on to decent volume, continuing on this uptrend.
Yes, I like.
I like that stock. It is a holding of mine for sure, but again, it's not much of a day trade. It's just almost never going to be a day trade. Way too thin of a stock to worry about it. DJT did an SSR bounce at the open. It might lose VWAP here. I've paid for locates on DJT. So if it is going to fail break and hang out lower and trend down like it did yesterday, I think you just got to be patient with it. So this is the overall look. It's kind of bearish to me because yesterday's morning bottoms are today's tops. So it'll fail under VWAP and I'll be looking short. You know, sometimes the best trade you make is not making a trade. It didn't go to a dip buy level I like. It would have been a good one if you just bought the open, but now looking still stair step to the downside. DJT still only in Rivian for now. As long as Tesla holds on to that 250 to the south side, we like it. And Amazon, no VWAP for Amazon just yet. Play the patience game. Market's still looking weak. We're not really pressing. It's at 193.80, which is a ways away from 195. If you get in now, you gotta either have to find a really good level tight or wait for something a little bit deeper. Just thankful to be up right now. We didn't get Tesla. I look back at my note, and we cut a bottom on Tesla, but my note said over under 260 for myself, and it failed that 260 at the open. It just never really got to that price. It failed under 260, but the high is like 58. So sometimes that's just not good enough. Had to be a little bit tighter to 260 to take that short. But Tesla on the rebound path, 250 is going to be the key level. And I liked NVIDIA at 127. It bounced the first time. If I like a level, initial bounce, I think it's a fade at that level if it holds underneath it. There just hasn't been a real test here at VWAP or the 127 level at all.
This has been a great month for sure. We missed the first couple of days and we're still banging it out. So a good one so far. Look at this Apple trade. Sheesh is right there, dude. We not only do we have shares on this one, but we have extra shares. Double your pleasure, double your fun. It's Apple double mint gum right now. So big move, man. Big move for Apple. They're off that 233. We like a lot right there as that continues to go higher. So good little trading there on Apple. We'll see if we can kind of replicate this again and try to find something else that dips into levels that we like. Apple right there, banger of a trade to the downside. And then boom, right back up. So there's a lot for everybody. This is why I love these markets, man. A lot for everybody. We are bad on Tesla. There's no doubt about that. So if we can get something out at 250, we just got back up there again and then got hit back down. So we're still $2 in the money, but this could fade out. And if it does, good for that. We're not going to reload it. What we are doing right now, though, is we're watching out for this trade. This is a big one for me there on Apple. We sort of talked about that when we had it. We had a big one on Palantir. Amazon was really, I mean, I can't believe we basically have the exact level we wanted, 196, and then there's that out at 193.20. So that's like 250 right there. We're $2 right here. We're 40 cents here if you like to play this level. And then Apple right now is now 70 cents. So, I mean, we'll have all the best names, but we also have the worst P&L here as well with Tesla for myself. So, yeah, not great. Could always be better, but, you know, we're alive and we're kicking right now. We're still here. So, nice move upside again. Let's get a 90 fill now on Apple. This was basically a day saver for us here, being able to find this one. So good move there for Apple as we'll have one red name today, man. Apple, Amazon, Palantir, Shopify, 4 big winners. And again, all off of this. And the L belongs to our friend Elon Musk, as we belongs to me, but it's his name. Tesla right here coming back in. Now, it looks like it wants to continue to fade out. Let's get out of some more Apple here as I'm thinking the market may want to be a little weak for some reason right now. So if we get some 77s out, I'm not hearing anything in my ear. There's like no news.
The
about
last thing
recently,
was nothing. It was when all those meme stocks were going.
Yeah,
so let's go to let's go to the desk. It's 10:30. We got crypto news. Well, update.
We do have some news coming out here a little bit. CNBC reporting that apparently the odds of a Fed rate cut in September are currently at 100%. So CNBC reporting that their odds for a September rate cut are currently at 100%. So a little bit more dovishness in those markets. Keep an eye on that. In terms of crypto itself, we did have this coming out later yesterday that there is some potential for Ethereum ETFs as early as next week, specifically next Tuesday, by the time everything is allowed to trade. Basically, we have the SEC reportedly telling the Ethereum ETF issuers they can start trading next Tuesday as long as they get all of their forms in by this Wednesday. So again, this was provided no issues, but as long as everything goes according to plan, there are reports that trading should begin by Tuesday, July 23rd. So, of course, not a guarantee, but keep an eye on Ethereum as we head into next week, just 1 week away. Bitcoin here, coming into a decent area, bouncing off that previous area of resistance we formed on July 1st here. So nice little bounce here for BTC following that great momentum we had yesterday. Currently red on the day, but holding on to this 63.50 area or 63.5 area pretty well here for BTC on the daily chart. Ethereum here also doing decently, holding on to this 3,400 level. As these crypto names a bit mixed, we've got Ripple here up about 9%, Dogecoin up about 4%, Solana up 2%, and then other names like BNB and Cardano basically flat on the day. So a bit of a mixed performance for these other crypto names, but Ethereum and Bitcoin both very strong, guys.
Yeah, running right back up to some of those highs. You still haven't got back to 64,000, which is the monster level, obviously, for it. The only red stock for me, the one of the 6, is Mara. And it's actually holding the higher end right now, but the breakout above 25 didn't happen. The test of 23, well, it didn't work. The test of 23 didn't happen. Now you're starting to hold VWAP for a consolidation. If crypto continues to go higher, then I think you play off this consolidation. It's not necessarily done yet, but I want it breaking the top. The problem is it's at the overhead resistance zone. So get kind of long up here, unless it's breaking out above, doesn't make sense to me. I need this one above the 25 level. We're right back on over into Rivian. So we're just going to play this one. Again, like lower highs are continuing to work off of this. It's got some out at the 45 level. 1730 is the current low. That was also the afternoon support area. So stair step into the downside on Rivian. With this market bounce, Amazon's still not quite creeping into VWAP. So we want to be patient with it. But, at some point, We want to take our shot. If that's the level, maybe we take it a little bit lower. NVIDIA is starting to get into VWAP here. You've had twice tested 126.5. It looks like we're about to test a third time. Would almost want it to fail break here, hold VWAP underneath, look for something into 127, and then play it on the back end. The market is on that bounce play. So you want to be patient. Like all the shorts, all the real momentum to the downside just came. You're looking for those secondary plays. Never want to give back more than what you make on the big move when you're looking for the smaller move after the fact.
I mean, this is what we're doing right here. It is dollar club, not smoke. We're not blowing anything up in smoke right there. There goes Apple right now. I mean, it's exactly what Neil just said right there. We find a secondary play to take that long, and there it is, a dollar winner there on Apple, $3 in the money out of it now though on Tesla. So we make back a little bit there on that play. So far, so good on everything that we're looking at over here with a nice fade. I feel like that could have been a fade there. We only have 10% left of Apple. I'm going to take the opportunity to get some more out here at 23 again and just props it up. You know what? I'm thinking about what's for lunch. All right. So what is for lunch as more content is created here daily? It's roasted chicken thighs. I feel like we had chicken. It was chicken yesterday. My favorite piece of chicken, I feel like, is a wing, but thigh would be right up there as well. Good idea. Here is the menu for today, though. It is roasted chicken thighs, so that's not too bad, I feel like, although I'm hearing some hatred over there, with peas and corn. Let's see if it is a, kind of peas and corn mix there, like a succotash. Or will it simply just be a corn on the cob with side peas? We will find out more, and you can stay tuned to us as we will go over what was for lunch every single day, and that's what was for lunch, Neil, today. All right, thank you again. We'll have something on our salad, which I, of course, am hoping for tuna. Yesterday was egg salad, so that was good as well. Apple, good out there.
Get ready for chicken.
As we now have 8% left of Apple. We're still big on Palantir. And of course, Tesla came out. I just said good job by Daryl there in the chat, because good friend of the show and a guy that I know that mentioned that he had taken, I think he took this long and then took the short there on Shopify. Look, man, okay, so let's do this right here. PL1, Amazon. PL2, Shopify. Apple PL1, Amazon, Shopify. That's it, Palantir, and then the baddest of them all, right here in the negative way, is Tesla to that downside. So far so good here today. As we roll through some of these names, we do have Netflix earnings on tap. It's not today though. I think it's Thursday, I believe, for Netflix. So here's what they look like. Hey, Starbucks, Wagwan, up 1.13%. There today for Starbucks. I did want to, no, it was not Tesla I was just talking about. Well, Netflix, NFLX. So I did want to see there, post-market July the 18th. So that is right. So that is Thursday. Market cap of a poultry sub 300 billion with a move back in the way it has been. Nice move back into the 50-period moving average. I didn't actually buy this name until it went down to about $100 a while ago. So this has been a good trade for us. Needless to say there on Netflix, the streaming darling that is NFLX. The wife and I right now are watching with our kids something called The Good Place. So The Good Place is a pretty good movie there. Ted Danson, yeah.
Ted Danson? I've never heard of that. I love Ted Danson. What's
Fire in the booth?
I
Fire in the
love
booth.
Ted Danson.
Right now, good show there. We like that one. Yeah, good one. And then the wife and I get ready for some more fire. Ready for some more fire? We're watching The Bear right now on Disney Plus. Turn my mic up. Right now, more fire in the booth right there. So a couple good shows being watched in the Katina house. Oh, Randy? In the Katina
you guys are hitting
household
way
right
too
now.
many buttons in our ear.
Sharif always gets BPI, nice espresso, but I could use an espresso, my guy. No, we already have half of our coffee. I know, I'm just playing around. I'm not part of the Espress Bros right there, but shout out to former Blue Jay. Again, another disastrous move by, I don't know if they're the worst management in baseball. You tell me.
They're not
being in the playoffs for the last 8 years. The Blue Jays see Teoscar.
There's worse.
Is there? Okay, with third highest payroll. We have, anyways, it doesn't matter. What I was going to say, it was nice to see Vladdy supporting his old teammates that is now ripping it up for another
I'm
team.
happy for T.O.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's great. I'm happy that he's
It's
playing
the
on a
curse.
winning team.
Every single time, for the last 5 years in a row, my daughter's second favorite player leaves the team. And when Teoscar left, she came into the year, she's like, Vladdy number 1, Teo number 2. This year, that player is Bo Bichette.
Ouch, he got
So just an opening day, I'm like, who's your second favorite this year? She said Bo Bichette. So Bo Bichette, bye-bye.
He's very chalk. Is your favorite quarterback Tom Brady by now?
No, at first it was Galvis, it was Steve Pierce, it was random players at first. Now it's like the better ones, and it's not really working out any better.
Said she was like Bo Bichette, though.
No, but now it's Bo Bichette. So it's like
not
she's
bad.
moving up the ladder
she?
to the second best player on the team. Well, he's not really the second best this year, but he usually is.
Yeah,
we're gonna get a reload here in Rivian. We'll see if it's gonna end up being good. Right back into that lower high. We're just sort of sticking with the same plan here. Amazon isn't giving us any opportunities off of VWAP, so we got to play again like that tight to the vest. Mara is trying to hold back above 25 even. So here it is, third time, looking like a potential charm. So instead of just taking it when it breaks the high, let it break the high and see where it happens to hold. And then you be in the long as it's holding, as opposed to just taking a breakout trade and stopping out. As I said, it's the only one that hasn't worked. So let's be a little bit more patient with it. Holding that 25 level, look for a consolidation up here. Crypto and Mara still looking strong. Let's go to Sector Watch with Adara.
All right.
We have the NASDAQ red today and the SPY green. You can definitely see that reflected a bit on this sector board. A lot of these chips to the downside, notably NVIDIA, Broadcom, AMD. We also have some weakness here in technology services. Microsoft and Meta, both a little bit red here. But then other green sectors include finance, pretty strong with the exception of 2 earnings names to the downside, Charles Schwab and Progressive. We also have some strength in health technology across the board. Retail trade pretty strong here with the exception of Costco, pretty strong manufacturing, consumer services, commercial services, process industries, transportation, and health services here, green. Health services being led to the upside by UNH off of earnings. So generally, with the exception of these tech names, pretty strong look here across the sectors. Energy minerals a little bit weaker as well, worth noting, guys.
Really, first of all, right now, $1. What's up, Ozan? He wants the cow, so there you go. Where's the beef? There it goes, a nice little move there to the upside here. Look at Palantir. Ozan, I got you again. There it goes, man. This has been putting some food on the table here today is Palantir, and for a very long time. But there it goes, man. Back up to $28, man. We called that one. That's a smooth 1% win right there. 27.50 upside right there. 229. Sorry, 28. I wish 29. We're almost out though. We talked about that. Right now we only have that 10% left. But it's really, honestly, man, the biggest and the baddest name here by far. For me today is Apple. I mean, we did really good holding this one, honestly. Although it looks like we have a lot of outs, a lot of the outs are right here at the 50 period as we approach 234. So that was really good. I mean, looking back at it, right now it's another $1. I'm sure there'll be lots of dollar winners tomorrow. We have Obi on the show. But today so far, Apple, I'm just saying that because I'm at jury summons, not jury duty yet. We'll wait to see.
Selection.
If I can summons. I got to go there and tell them that I am the host of Trader TV Live, at which they will say, who cares? And then at that point, I will probably
they don't
be selected. I hope I'm
don't
selected.
care.
I want to go see the process. I would love to be selected to the jury. So anyways, let's see what happens for that tomorrow. I'm off, and it'll be Neil and Obi all day. So that should be fun for sure. Palantir, 40 cents. Apple, $1.22. As we keep on climbing, I wish, says Skilo. I wish I was a little bit longer on Tesla because we are now out of that name and 246 bottom. We got out there at 250 thinking we'd done pretty good, but there it is, right to view up. We were going to wait for that view up at 242. We would have been out at like 251. We were sitting at 250.80, but we lost a little bit of patience with that one, and patience reigns supreme here today. So big day on the floor. BAC was a big name for a lot of traders as that really got going there. Big day today for BAC. Again, banks in play.
Morgan's still flying.
Yeah, Morgan's flying. And of course, neither one of us looked at this, but BAC, good trade there. Breaking the pre-market. Probably something very, very similar there for Morgan Stanley as a strategy. Again, when there's earnings plays, I feel like there's two strategies, and we've talked about this, and maybe we should start doing it now that we get into earnings season. So stay tuned for more of these plays on the sticky note, and it's hard to get them on the note because you don't really know what these levels are when you're sort of building the sticky note. But at the same time, if I'm going to use pre-market, then you can sort of look back. I like to see the very, very pre-market highs. So as you're coming into here, I feel like this was 930 on Morgan. This trade would have been a lot harder because it does get going and then fades out. So Morgan today should have just been bought on a 50 period. That would have been it, but that's, again, hindsight. Maybe VWAP or the 50 period. It's BAC, that first trade that I looked at right there. That does break right there, that pre-market high. So I do feel like 43, not only was it the pre-market high, but a great breakout long side, reminding me of Shopify. But again, good day so far. It's only 10:43. It's about to get a lot better, especially when the theory of waves hits in the afternoon. So if you're looking for Elliott wave theory explanation and some trade ideas and examples, as well as live trading. I mean, not only are they teaching, which is why we have the smarter guys and gals, of course, smarter hosts on the Midday show, so they can not only teach you guys stuff that I have no idea about, but also trade. So it will be the professor, hence the name, and Adara, two of the, by far, smartest traders.
Oddly enough,
TV Live.
The professor name actually was well before we even did the Midday Learn to Trade.
As soon as I saw
it was the
glasses.
glasses. It was actually more the glasses than anything else. So it just ended up being like prophetic is the word. Prophetic is exactly what you would use for that. And the prophecy is definitely in, and they don't like Rivian. I know, look, I'm going to go to Lucid for a quick second because we've ignored Lucid. Lucid is trend down as well, but obviously it's a weak stock, up 3%, but trend down. We just like Rivian a little bit better. And we talked about this in the afternoon, that $18, $17.90 to $18 level working out. It's right back testing the lows. If we break 17.30, all out 17 even is going to be the name of the game. So it's just yesterday's range trade, maybe a little bit less because of the market strength than what you're seeing here. Let's be patient with it. It's trying to track back into those lows. I want to go over to, I haven't talked about this name in a minute, in a while, I should say, and that's going to be load Intel. Intel has a weird thing happening at yesterday's low. There we go. Yesterday's low, 1, 2, 3 times double bottom, and then the close the day before, and it's cresting right at that level. I haven't traded Intel in a while. I looked over, and that looks like a good setup for a fade. I was looking for things to fade back into. Intel right about now is looking like some set. Just want to make sure you understand why it's looking like a good bounce play. Is the level a key one? Yes, but you have to zoom out and look at yesterday's support to resistance here on INTC.
All right, we're trying not to play around here. Let's see if we can do something like that. We're going to go short on NVIDIA as we look for another trade. Wow, this Apple trade is really getting spicy meatball right now on that one, as Apple's now $1.40 in the money. That was a good call, I'm guessing, right now. So we'll have to put some offers out to see if we can get something there on Apple. Or sorry, wrong stock. There's Apple right there. Oops, that's NVIDIA. There's Apple right here. Up to VWAP off of that low take. We did exactly what we said we would do there. Get low on some stock, find a name that we like. We picked out Apple. It's now relatively strong against the market as you get all the way back to the 200 period moving average. And guess what? Not just because this would look great on a tweet, but let's get out here because it's at VWAP, and we really, really like a pull from the bottom all the way back to VWAP. It was all a dream, but this is actually reality. This is what you look for. Low a day, pullbacks into VWAP, and we might have just missed it. So let's offer it out as we talk more about this. There it is, out at 45. Sign it up, Neil. There it is. It is your P&L number one. It's Apple, bottom to top right there. I mean, that for me is pretty good right there. We did take an NVIDIA out at 30 there to take 15 cents. Obviously, we're only taking out 10%, as we'll see if NVIDIA wants to go lower. Same kind of trade off of VWAP. So we found something else for you right now. It is NVIDIA, and hopefully she gets a little bit lower than where we are right now, you guys. There it is again, Neil. It's another one. It's a money play, and it is that. Exactly that on NVIDIA. The billionaire approves, and there she is on the ones and twos. It is Ramin coming through right there. She said she wanted that nickname, so hey, man, I've learned a lesson in my life that when the women speak to me, I just do whatever they say right there. Dad life Girl dad. Okay, here it is right now. Nice move to the downside right now. Let's go. Let's spin it upside again for us. As here we go, man. Good move for NVIDIA as that pulls right back in. Oh, yeah. It's a good one here. It's NVIDIA. And I like nice move now to the downside. Oh, yeah. We just did another one for everybody there, Neil.
What's hilarious, it was exactly a 15-cent move as well on Rivian, which is one of the shorts that we're in. So
Boom.
It's basically the same thing. Just try to short weak stocks. The chips are absolutely dying right now. By the way, I know we forgot something. AMD is just as bad, and it's almost at VWAP. So I went over, Intel was at a key level, but AMD, VWAP, if we get a chance at that, like AMD was a good stock yesterday. And I know it's a down move, but it's a good downward trending stock the last couple of sessions. We're happy when stocks go up, but this is 177. That's 177, and VWAP's 177. It just didn't quite get there. While Intel was at a key level, if we get a shot at VWAP here on AMD, we're going to like it just as much. That said, I know we completely ignored these, but Morgan Stanley on the banks, I said after, if we get some kind of a dip into VWAP, I'd look for a long. Morgan Stanley is just continuing to go higher and higher. It's trend up. We've seen the stocks. We've seen the banks do this before. If there's going to be a dip, forget about VWAP. This 108, like the wick top, that 108 level, maybe you can consolidate there to give an entry. There isn't a red candle since the conference call on Morgan Stanley. That's what I call strength. So the next available dip or consolidation will be the first one of the day on Morgan Stanley, which means if there's going to be a secondary push, I just want to have that. So I'm watching the 15-minute chart on Morgan Stanley for some kind of a consolidation that we can grab. And as quickly as Rivian just gave that dip, it's coming right back in for a reload. So it just made that 15-cent move down, now trying to get that lower high again, 15 cents up here on Rivian.
All right, yeah, good move there for Rivian as we go. So nice little trade there. And yeah, man, we'll just continue to watch out to see what does happen there with NVIDIA. Goes as low there as 126, taking about 30 cents right there. All right, Shopify, let's have a quick look at that. Right back up to today's high again for Shopify. And what a good bounce that was off the 200 period. We're charting real well, and we've got a lot of key levels, man, today. Like this Palantir is probably about as clean. I mean, again, levels right down there to the penny where we're long right now on Palantir. And then the only thing we screwed up on today was Tesla, which will be fine at the end of the day. Shopify, again, good hold. Anybody that had that one, that was a pretty good one. And then Amazon. I mean, Amazon. I don't know how, again, we have this bottom of the day there for Amazon, but we do have it, multiple dollars. So we've taken dollars on Tesla, Shopify. We're going to hope to do the same thing here for NVIDIA. Amazon, we're showing you right now. And then Apple, honestly, I mean, so in my opinion, we basically had pretty much two perfect trades today. The way I trade and probably the way a lot of you trade as well, waiting for dip buy opportunities on strong names. There was Apple dip buy opportunity, bottom to VWAP. To me, that's perfect. If I could write a book, that's what I would do. And then Palantir, we gave that 2750 level right there based on past support. So that was a good one. Again, back to VWAP. We wish we still would have had it. This one, again, perfect trade back to VWAP. But at the end of the day, it has more legs as we love Palantir and love that name is strong. All right, it's 10:51. You can't do anything without looking at currencies these days. So let's go find out some strength in Forex.
Great bounce here once again for the DXY, just above 104s, around that 104.10 area on the daily chart. Yesterday when we were here, we had a bit of a topping tail candle. Looks like we did have the DXY not only recover from that, but look to form a second green candle here at this area. We've bounced on quite a few times on the daily chart, so good look for the DXY. Pieces of economic data coming in earlier today. We got the import price index for June flat, so 0.0%. It's going to be lower than the expected 0.2% increase, but higher than the negative 0.2% previous print. We also have export prices coming in also lower than expected, negative 0.5 versus negative 0.1 expected here. Business inventories month over month for May coming in 0.5%, slightly higher than the 0.4% estimate in the prior print of 0.3. We also had retail sales month over month for June coming in 0.1% versus the negative 0.3% estimate and the prior revised numbers. So a little bit higher than expected for retail sales, and business inventories lower than expected for import and export price indices. We do have Fed's Kugler coming up later today, speaking at 2:45. Fed's Kugler has been a little bit more dovish in the past. Last speech around a month ago saying that she was encouraged by recent data that there could be, as she sees, at least potentially one rate cut by the end of the year. So keep an eye on if the market moves with this, knowing that we might potentially get a little bit more dovish talk given recent speeches. We also had Fed Chair Powell yesterday saying that the Fed needs to stick to its mandate and, quote, avoid the temptation to expand it. So we'll have to see if we get some other indicators of potential rate cuts coming soon, as we do have a meeting coming up. But yeah, keep an eye on Fed's Kugler 2:45, guys.
Yeah, we'll definitely keep your eye when Fed speakers come through. I feel like you haven't had too much fear necessarily as usual, but it is what it is. You want to make sure you don't get too caught off bound. Like if you have a stock trending against you and it's at a key level, Fed speaker says something, you could get a breakout, trade with stops, all that good stuff. Still nothing yet on DJT, but it's nearing. It just continues to hold lower. So this flat bottom break potentially still in play here. Waited all morning for the chance to go short on this. It never goes up to 42, but certainly breaking this consolidation bottom could make a little bit of sense here for DJT. We have to pay for locates, but they're only like 12 cents per share.
It is, yeah. Good look there on DJT. As there it is, man, 50 cents. It's still going down. Hey, we just gave this to you guys again. It is fruit salad winner. There it goes right now to the downside for NVDA. So again, good trading there. And like we said there, Neil mentioned about getting 15 cents on Rivian and things like that. Remember, it's going to be about share size. Like right now, NVIDIA just climbs up right there just by me getting out for only 40 cents. It now is like one of the top P&L names, right? And so again, understand we don't show share size, so you have to try to figure that out. And I'm going to tell you guys positions that I'm in and where I like them. And that's what we're doing right now. Let's see if we can have a few more diamond hands. So far, we've had 4 names, each dollar winners there today, with dollar loser with Tesla as well. But here comes NVIDIA. Let's see if that one can get back down into the downside. Now 60 cents. We'll see if we can get a little bit more, as here it comes right off VWAP. Again, finally doing the right stuff, right? I mean, we really got stubborn with Tesla, and we can do videos on this or whatever. But when I'm writing down here, honestly, and I just have to get better at this, like I said, we still know where we are, and we're still completely fine, obviously, here. When you look at, Neil talks about it all the time, looking at trading on the month, right? And on the month, we're still where we need to. We took the first week off. There's Tesla 252 long. So the minute that breaks, basically, what we have to do is just say, you know what, you're allowed to be wrong on one of the names, right? And that Tesla trade, although it's at 252 now, once that breaks right there, like all of these extra ones, maybe one time at 250 would have been fine, but like don't buy 251s, don't buy 250s. This one's fine, actually. I don't mind the 250 buy. But then what are you doing down here at 248, 249? And it's just like small cuts after small cuts start to add up. But at least then, you can look over and say, you know what, your boy's going to recover, because he does. And there it is right there on NVIDIA. Have confidence right there. There's 70 cents in the money. Of course, we're going to scalp something out, but we get it out, and now we're going to hold out. And there it goes right now. Now 75 cents in the money. Look, I was just talking, Neil. Maybe we could have another Dollar Club member. And there it is right now. NVIDIA, 3/4 of the way there. So, so far, so good here today. 4 more minutes, and then you will be able to see when we are ready to go on that one. So far, so good here for NVIDIA. Would like to see it a lot lower, though. I mean, but today's range, it had a big move there, but since this, we basically have the top.
Small range.
Yeah, we have the top since 10 o'clock, so the last hour, and then we have the bottom, which hasn't been here since 30 minutes ago. So we have the whole range over the last half hour, and when you're a scalper, that's pretty good to get tops and bottoms. So we do have that on Amazon, and right now on Palantir, by the way, this one just nicely played there, top to bottom there on PLTR. Yeah, we're pretty confident in what we're doing around here.
So I've only made 3 trades in Tesla, and this is the third one. It's the first one short, and it's basically 252, which was a key level.
Yes,
I didn't trade 252. But let's be real. I actually waited for like 251, which is a weird level to gone off of, and I acknowledge that it was a bit of a mistake. But right here at 52, that's the key price. We traded 46. It's going to end up breaking 52 here. So I was just waiting for this to give like a dipsy-do over-under. It did the over-under, got me short underneath, and then broke the high. So I'd rather have it look like this. Again, everyone's going to have their own style of trade. I want a losing trade to look like this. I want a losing trade to look like that. If we continue to break higher, got to wait for like 55 as a key level. You might just be holding VWAP at this point. And if this is going to hold VWAP, Tesla can easily get back to 56. If it goes red to green, crazier things have happened on Tesla than that. Thank you, everyone out there, for the kind words. Those people were talking about some of the opportunities this morning. You just had to be patient for them.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, like I liked short underneath 260 failing. We were mentioning that, but that didn't actually give a trade setup. It was more the failure on the daily chart. The trade setup is always going to be a little bit different. Going back over to AMD here, guys, with the market coming back. There's only 2 minutes to go. AMD 177, it has yet to happen, but I still like it. So we're in Intel, but I really like this AMD at 177. It's down 2%. You've got a flat market down 0.2. You've got the chips, or at least this chip name, looking really, really heavy. I feel like AMD has turned into the midday short. Amazon VWAP as well, although Amazon has yet to get into VWAP. If we get this, it's about 195. So just be patient, go station to station. Make sure it gets to the key level. If you're going against a short-term trend, then let it give you your price. Don't compromise on that. If you like 195, wait for 195. Like I went long Tesla 251 instead of 250, and both of them wouldn't have worked, but I still don't like it because 251 wasn't the level for me. So regardless of how it worked out, you got to wait for your level. So that'll be Amazon, AMD. We also like it, VWAP. It's about the VWAP retrace. Is now DJT goes?
What's up, Dan Emmons, right here as, yeah, man, it's cash register ringing time right now. Man, like I'm happy to go to jury duty, but sad to miss again. But you know what? Like I said, we took that first week off and we came back and now are having our best month, you know, like in a while. So that's a good one here, just over 2 weeks. So this market is really trading well for us right now. I do want to thank, of course, everybody for watching. We're about to get even better with the midday show. Now only 15 seconds before we throw it over there. Thank you again to everybody. Tilray and CGC, people want to look at that one right there. So we'll do some of this and just have a quick look at TLRY. I like to look at whatever one
they were going
doing
yesterday.
The more volume. $1.93 again. You know, I don't know if JD Vance has much to say about that, but right now I heard on the way in it's 65% chance that President Donald Trump will once again be your president over there in the United States. So I don't know. It's about time that we now try to figure out what maybe some of the policies would be on marijuana right now. We do know that it was a VP debated topic.
Energy,
That's
baby.
why I talk about Kamala before as well. So we'll wait to see what winds up happening right there. It doesn't look like we're getting too much action. You're welcome, Adam DeLuz. I'm coming to London in a couple weeks. Thank you, Matthew Booth, Dutch Dreamer, Bry Haw, everybody that's there in the chat. Join me tonight with Brian Shannon as we will do the market recap show and figure out who's reporting and who isn't. As NVIDIA right now is approaching, once again, yet again, another dollar. So hopefully that will continue to go to the downside. And if we can get lucky enough to get a 125, that's where we're bidding.
Yes, sir. It is 11 o'clock. I did get the DJT broke that channel to the downside, so we got into that. It's the first trade on DJT today, which is much better than yesterday. We're in it early before it calmed down. But let's get on over. You got more Elliott wave theory. Then we're back at 2 o'clock, right back at it in the afternoon. For now, you've got the professor, you've got Adara, and the waves of the market.
Ooh.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as that Midday Show. That is your girl Adara, and I am Sharif. And we already have John